here's the weigh-in from our first fight, and I'm going to tell you something, folks. This is going to be one of the best fights of the night, and we're going to go straight to the ring. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pressler Law Firm, Phillips Moving and Storage, OLG Slots at Woodbine, and OLG Slots at Ajax proudly present our opening bout of the evening, 6 rounds in the welterweight division. Your judges for this contest, Mr. John Wiley, Mr. Jeremy Hayes, and Mr. Harry Davis. When the bell sounds, your referee is Mr. Donovan Boucher. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black and white. His professional record, 3 wins, including 2 by way of knockout, only 1 defeat. From Montreal, Quebec, he weighed in this morning at 145.8 pounds. The Gladiator, Flavio Michel. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing red and blue. He is undefeated as a professional. 3 wins, including 2 by way of knockout. No defeats. From the Steel City, Hamilton, Ontario, at 146 pounds, Jesse "The Rock" Wilcox.
Let's go. Fighters. Okay, gentlemen, I give you pre-fight instruction in the changing room. All I want for you is to listen to my comment at all times. Protect yourself at all times. You got it? Red corner. Any question? Blue corner. You good? Touch gloves. Good luck.
You know, Sid, I got to talk to you about this right off the get-go. This is our first bout of the night, but I got to tell you something. We see Jesse Wilcox and Flavio Michel going together. Michel coming from Montreal, Quebec. Why do we not see more Canadians against Canadians?
You know what? This is one of the fights I was actually looking forward to when I was looking at the records in the paper. You know what? Promoters and managers just choose to fight fighters from other countries, but I mean, I love seeing the Canadian matchups. It's great for rivalry, and it's great
Absolutely.
to no, for sure.
Jesse Wilcox, known in the early part of his career as weighing out that first round and a half, sort of, Michelle, of figuring out styles and then finally taking his target and disposing of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to finish is definitely something that we've grown to love about Jesse. He's got such heavy hands and he's not afraid to use them.
Well, and that's a big key when you talk about it, Sid. Jesse does have, for a guy of his weight, he has very heavy hands.
Yeah, he does, and that's always going to play to his advantage. And I see him; he's being quite patient here, so that's nice to see from a young fighter, especially ones that pack a big punch. Yeah, it's nice to see him throwing some feints in there. He's not being too excited. He's trying to set some things up.
Sit on the other side of the ring too. You have a fighter like Michel who's coming off of his first loss as a professional. So, and it's pretty fresh as well, just happened in March. So, how much is it that a fighter wants to come out here and prove, especially, like you said, it's a nice Canadian rivalry we've got going, Montreal versus Toronto or Mississauga area. So what is that like for a fighter just getting off of his first loss?
Yeah, this first round is going to be very important for Michel. To establish that he's back, like in his own mind, just to come back and have a good first round. Right now, it's back and forth. I'd like to see him do a little bit more to, establish that he's got some dominance in here, but we'll see. I mean, Jesse's not really allowing him to do that, is he?
How important is it to get back in the ring so quickly after your first loss, though?
It's good if you're ready. If he didn't suffer too much of a defeat in his last fight, then, yeah, get right back in there. He's taking some pretty heavy shots right now, though.
He sure is. Jesse Wilcox throwing a couple of good combinations, backing up Michel into the corner. They move back to the middle of the ring. Michel comes over top, and nothing really comes out as it's separated. And the first round comes to a close, but I think Jesse Wilcox may have got the better in that first round.
I'd agree, Doug. I'd give that round to Jesse for sure.
You know, I'm going to put both of you guys right on the doorstep. I'm going to ask you guys to score this and every fight we see tonight. I want to hear what your thoughts are as we go through not just every round, but as we go through every fight. We take a look at round number 1 right here, and Jesse Wilcox very quickly is able to counterpunch.
Yeah, and he's counterpunching after he set it up with a feint. So that's really good to see. He's already got Michel kind of flinching and aware of his power. So that's going to set up some different things for him as we move along.
Here, Wilcox's corner, Michel asking him to keep that jab going, and that's keeping the guy off of him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's, the longer fighter with a longer reach. And, Sid mentioned the feints. Well, you do a lot of feinting as well off the jab, right? So that's a big key to his offense and then his countering as well.
Michel missing there with a nice big overhand. So he's getting a little desperate here. Just got to be careful he doesn't get hit with a straight right hand.
In a fight with limited rounds like this, Sid, how do you coach a boxer to say, you know what, the first round we may see some, feeling out, but at a certain point you've got to let it fly.
Yeah, at some point you got to make a decision, just pull the trigger and make it happen. But I like to do that behind the jab. Like, just keep working the jab. The jab will set lots of things up for you.
Michel got caught trying to come inside. They move back to the middle of the ring. Great job by Wilcox, throwing a good couple of combinations, starting out with the left hook. Comes in with the overhand right, just missing as he goes over top of Michel's head.
It also looks like he's trying to time that uppercut because he's seeing Michel kind of duck into it, so he's either...
Yeah, Wilcox really starting to put his punches together now. And Michel just throwing one at a time. And you watch Jesse, he'll throw 3 or 4.
That's a big difference between fighters being successful and unsuccessful, is being able to put those combinations together, isn't it, Sid?
Yep, and up and down, like you saw Jesse right there. Hit him with an up and down combination. So it's going to keep Michel guessing.
Wilcox trying to come inside, and Michel ties him up. They move back to the center of the ring. Michel tries to dive inside, and Wilcox backs up and throws the overhand right.
Yeah, one of the reasons you see Michel trying to dive in there is because Wilcox is doing a really great job with distancing. Either he's hitting Michel or he's out of range. I like that.
Very quickly, Michel comes with the right hand, and like you said, Sid, it missed by a good 2-3 inches. And you know what? Nothing more frustrating, Michel, than seeing
throwing and missing. Yeah,
than throwing and missing. Think you've got your target in sight, and then it misses by a long shot too.
Well, and I think that's one thing that's pretty. You don't really realize that until you kind of step in the ring as well. Is the fact that a split second really does make that much of a difference. It's a matter of 2-3 inches, like you mentioned. The fact that, you see an opening, and if you don't throw it as soon as you see it, it's gone. It's gone. Right?
Round number 3 in championship boxing. Hi again, everybody. Doug Anderson, Sin Vanderpool, and Michel Storino bringing you all the action.
As the longer fighter as well, he's doing a really good job of, ringsmanship, right? And owning the ring and owning the space. And you mentioned, not only is he landing with punches and bunches, but he's also dictating where the fight is going, right? Yeah. So it's starting, if he wants to take Michel into a corner, he's taking him into a corner. If he wants to keep it in the center of the ring, he's keeping it in the center of the ring. So, it's interesting to know as well. You never really know how much that plays into a judge's mind when they're scoring a bout.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking the exact same thing in terms of ring generalship. Wilcox showing really great ring generalship and control here.
Well, I was going to say, dictating the pace and dictating where the fight is going, does that play into a judge's card?
Yeah, it does, because it shows control in that ring. He can hit him when he wants to hit him. He moves him in the corner. He wants to move in the corner. He steps up when he wants to. I mean, he's the boss in there right now.
Absolutely. Missing with the big right hand. Flavio Michel from Montreal, Quebec. Wearing the black trunks. Trimmed with white and black stars.
Ooh. Nice counter right hand over the top there. So now, as a coach, one of the things I want to see from Wilcox is after he makes Michel miss, make him pay with the counters.
Which also means it might mean stepping in right away as well, right?
Yeah.
So
a tight exchange from the two fighters. In the far corner, they come back to the center of the ring. Quick left hand coming from Michel. Wilcox sidesteps it, moves Michel back to the ring. Along the ropes they come. Dodging with a couple of lefts. Again, said you're looking for that uppercut. You can see him just waiting for it, waiting for that uppercut to become available to him.
Yeah, Wilcox is waiting. He might want to throw a few other punches to make Michel duck into it, but he knows it's there. He's just got to set it up just a little bit more.
Storino, you look at Michel over there, and he's got his hands held very low in this round.
Yeah, I don't know if that's more of a mental thing for himself, or he's just trying to,
A little more machismo? Is it?
It might be.
Is it a little more, hey, this is who I am?
Yeah, you're not hitting
me.
Maybe, he's just trying to get into Jesse's head at this point, even though Jesse has tagged him clearly.
Well, he's been shaking his right hand, and he hasn't thrown a right hand since. All he's doing is his left, so he might have hurt his right hand.
You think he got his right hand when he hit him on top of the head, when he caught him on the backside of the head?
Could have very well been.
You can still have that hand up to defend, though.
Why not? It's already hurt. You might as well use it for something.
Exactly.
Great job again by Wilcox, sidestepping that wild right coming from Michel. He gets out of the way and lands a couple of his own as we move on to round number 4. Sid, one of the things that I've always heard from every coach I've talked to, there's no excuse for bad defense.
Yeah, no excuse, and then, there's no comeback when you get hit on the chin and you're on the ground. So definitely defense, you have to make sure it's on point all the time.
But it's one of those things, Michel, that you look at and you kind of go, you know what? This is something that it just shouldn't happen.
Well,
it's you know what I mean?
Boxers,
there's offense. I can understand you can't hit your combination.
The
when
thing
you
is,
think about it,
your defense is all about your eyes. You don't see the punches. You get hit by the punches you don't see coming, right?
Yeah.
So, you need to be focused on your opponent. See where all those punches are coming from, and be in kind of like the right headspace for that, right? Not be so defensive that you're flinching more or you're turtling, or right. that's when the big trouble happens, when you don't see everything coming at you.
But Sid, there's no excuse for not having your body posture properly and having your hands in the wrong proposition.
Yeah, one of the easiest ways to defend a punch is just to have your hands up.
Yeah.
Agreed, yeah.
Great combination coming from Wilcox. Throws the left and comes over with the big right. They move back to the center of the ring. Wilcox throws out that left to start things off.
Yeah, when you talk about Wilcox being a hard puncher, he's not winding up. This is just, he's got good leverage. Like he's been really well schooled.
Nice job by Wilcox to get that straight left jab straight through the gloves of Flavio Michel.
And now, he's at the point where in the 4th round, and he's utilized that jab throughout the first 3 rounds to keep him at bay, use feints, and now he's, starting his combos with a lead left hook instead of the jab. So, it's taken the 3 rounds to set him up that way, but it's now making Michel think that much more in there.
Are we at the point in this bout, Sid, that Flavio Michel needs to make something big happen?
Oh, yeah. At this point right now, I mean, he's down 3 rounds. He needs to change the pace. I mean, it's the same thing over and over again. Nothing's going to change except the fact that he's going to receive more damage. So he needs to, do something.
Great job by Wilcox. Backs his man up to the ropes, takes a shot, but throws his hands up to protect himself from a combination. Good 1-2 coming from Wilcox.
Great jab there by Wilcox.
You hear the corner saying, jab, jab, move, Michel, and that's kind of what Wilcox has to do for the rest of the way. Nice straight left coming from Wilcox. Michel misses with the wild left. Again, going for it, missing again. Michel looking a little bit different in there, looking a little bit, I'd say, desperate.
Well, I'd say he was probably desperate the first couple rounds, too. I mean, he hasn't really put any significant combinations together all fight, really. It's been the most I've seen, it's probably 3 in a row, really. And in terms of a cadence, they've been really slow. They haven't exactly been like, 3 quick or 1 slow, 2 fast. That's another big thing, too, that, if you want to kind of change the momentum of a fight, you change up the cadence of your punches, too.
Yeah. I mean, I like the fact that at least in the first couple of rounds he was desperate. Now he looks disheartened.
Yes.
And, in the corner you got to.
And that's exactly what, if you're Wilcox in his corner, that's exactly what you want. You want your opponent to kind of draw back into a defensive shell, which is technically what's happening right now.
Wilcox is broken as well.
Yeah.
Are we all in agreement that the first 4 rounds went to Jesse Wilcox, or is
Get out of
somebody
here, Doug.
is somebody out of here?
Get out of here, Doug.
Come on.
Get out of here.
Come on.
You're not allowed to be a judge.
You never answered the question, by the way.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You just kind of, a typical lady, you sidestep the question. Good job by Wilcox. Following up that right with a quick straight left.
Yeah, Wilcox really switching up his combinations now. He started that combination with a straight right. Last round he was starting with a straight left and obviously using the jab as well. So Michel never knows what punch is going to come first.
You can hear Wilcox's corner saying, where's your fakes? And we talked a little bit in the previous rounds about fakes, and they don't just happen, with your hand. So he was doing it. He was doing it with his jab early on.
Look at Wilcox going at it right now along the ropes.
You could also feint with your feet. You could feint with your head. You could feint with your shoulder. There's multiple ways in which you could feint out your opponent and make them flinch, which is exactly what you want.
Is there a preferred way?
It's personal preference, I think. Really?
Or does it go by who you're fighting?
I'd like to say it goes by who you're fighting. If you see a fighter looking at your eyes, you feint with your eyes. You look one place, hit another. If you notice that they're cueing off your jab hand or your hands, then you feint with your hands. You can kind of look at your opponent and see what cues they're going to bite on.
A lot of the time it figures out when a fighter's in the ring, figuring out what those cues are so they can take advantage of it. That's the 4th or 5th time we've seen those big lefts coming from Michel. And Flavio Michel's throwing those big wild lefts and not connecting. And you gotta wonder how much energy that's taking from him.
Yeah, I'd like to see Wilcox do a little more body work.
As a taller fighter, do you automatically put yourself in a weaker position by going to the body on someone who's shorter, like Michel?
Yeah, you definitely open yourself up for a potential, return to the head. But Wilcox has shown that he can get in and out. He's in control, so definitely some body shots would soften him up.
So we move on to round number 6, and Jesse Wilcox has this one well in hand. It's a matter now of Flavio Michel needing a knockdown or maybe even a knockout to come out on top.
Yeah, Michel definitely needs a knockout right now to win this fight. A knockdown, even 2 knockdowns, he still wouldn't get the decision. I'd like to see a little more animation maybe in the court of Michel over there. They got to pump their guy up. Oh, he's punching himself. That might help him.
Like he needs to take another shot. No, seriously, come on. Like you're not getting hit enough in the first 5 rounds. You need to hit yourself in the corner.
He's coming out, though. Here we go.
He knows that this is his time. He knows that this is the round he needs to make something happen. And Jesse Wilcox knows that that's how Michel is going to come out of his corner.
Yeah, Jesse's doing the right thing, keeping the range, keeping bouncing. He doesn't have to risk anything right now.
Again, that wild left going wrong for Flavio Michel. He's thrown that punch a little more than a half dozen times, and he's been 6 inches to 8 inches away every time he's thrown that punch. Like, you got to pick your spots.
Yeah, he might do well to throw a different punch after that. Maybe a hook or something. He tries an uppercut there.
You could tell Wilcox is a gamer, and he's okay getting dirty and getting in there as well. But you can kind of hear his corner as well saying, like, just box, just relax, stay away from this danger. Because really, a desperate fighter is also a very dangerous fighter too.
Yeah, the last thing the Wilcox corner want to see right now is the fighter get hit or even get cut. Right now he could risk getting a headbutt and getting cut, and he's done so well up to this point. Why risk it? Beautiful jab there by Wilcox.
Absolutely. Right on the money.
Doing what he should do, closing the show. Heads coming close together there.
Probably, Michel, that's the worst thing that could happen to Jesse Wilcox is a headbutt right now.
Exactly. Sid mentioned a cut, a knockout, what you don't want. The number one thing he has to do is keep his hands up, because you know that it's just going to be high looping punches that are going to actually have a chance at this point. And what he's been throwing all night, really, but now with a little bit more force and desperation.
Textbook 1-2 there by Wilcox.
Final seconds of the 6th round. Good combination from Wilcox to finish off the 6th round. Assuming we've all got it 60-56.
That's it. Across the board.
Storino, you're not opening your mouth, and that really bothers me.
I'm just having a little bit of fun, yeah.
You've got it 5-1, don't you?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No, he won all 6 rounds. Once again, dominant performance by Jesse.
And it's more about activity than it is about, and you know what I mean?
He did so many things right in this fight. Now, this is the question I have to you, Sid. You have a smaller fighter. In your mind, he had to get on the inside of the taller, longer fighter. What should he have done in order to get on the inside, in order to be successful, instead of just resorting to looping punches on the outside?
Yeah, Flavio, he didn't have the footwork to get on the inside, and that's why you saw him lunging and trying. He tried, but every time he did, he missed by 8 inches, so he just didn't have the footwork to do it. So then he tried to lay back and counterpunch, and Wilcox was too fast for him. He really was just outclassed and outgunned.
Folks, if you've ever wondered, or you always thought that boxing is all about, upper body strength or arms or anything, it's the exact opposite. It's all about leg work.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds, we go to the scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges scored about 60-54 for the winner by unanimous decision, Jesse "The Rock" Wilcox.
Jesse Wilcox reacting like he knew this was the end result the whole time.
We've got some rowdy fans here at the Hershey Center.
We sure do.
Yeah, we definitely do. And obviously a lot of Wilcox supporters, as there always is, hailing from Hamilton. And the thing is, I think the beautiful thing about the Wilcox family and, everyone in that camp is the fact that, they really take advantage of how many great fighters there are in the province of Ontario. They travel to train all the time, which is, of course, I don't know if it's a Canadian thing or if it's an Ontario thing, but a lot of the very talented boxers in this province do that exact thing. They might hail from Hamilton or London or Mississauga, but they're traveling to Kitchener, where you're at, and everywhere all around the province in order to get good sparring in and good training in.
Well, it's funny you say that. Have you been reading my Facebook? I don't know. Yeah, Bob messaged me like a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Hey, Sid, can we come and get some work at your gym? Who do you have?" And so, exactly, they will contact whoever and go wherever to do what they need to do for their fighters to improve.
Yep.
And you see that here tonight.
Absolutely.
So Jesse Wilcox takes his big record to 4-0. Not a knockout this time. He's 2-0 with 4 wins in a row over Flavio Michel, who's now 3-2 with 2 KOs. A big win for Jesse Wilcox. We're going to take a break here on Championship Boxing. Coming right back at you. Stay with us.
An even 200 pounds for Mr. Henry. Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening proudly presented by Pressler Law Firm, Phillips Moving and Storage, OLG Slots at Woodbine, and OLG Slots at Ajax. This bout scheduled for 4 rounds in the Cruiserweight division. Your judges for this contest, Mr. John Wiley, Mr. Jeremy Hayes, and Mr. Harry Davis. Your referee, Mr. Mark Simmons. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing all white. He has a professional record of 1 win and no losses. From Bowmanville, Ontario, at 199.8 pounds, the Atomic Boken Bakpi. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing yellow trimmed with black. His professional record, 2 wins, including 1 by way of knockout, only 1 defeat. From Brampton, Ontario, he weighed in at 199.6 pounds, Shavar Henry.
All right, we went over the instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. When I say break, step back, stop punching, protect yourself at all times. Anything below here, I call low. Anything below here, I call low. Touch gloves. Good luck to the both of you.
That was quite the stare down.
It sure was. I was just going to say. Both guys coming in at the Cruiserweight division around 200 pounds, give or take a pound or so. And we talk about Shavar Henry, and we've said many times that this guy has so much talent that it's just a matter of exploiting those talents and growing into himself as a professional boxer.
So, Sid, what are the main concerns when you're an orthodox fighter facing a southpaw?
And a big southpaw, too. You know, Boken's got some size on Shavar here as well, so he's going to have to make sure that when he gets on the inside, he doesn't run into that left hand. Because I think that's where Shavar's going to do most of his damage, is on the inside.
In a 4-round fight like this, how important is it to get off to a quick start?
I think for Shavar, very important, because Aboken's been off for 2 years, so he wants to utilize that. I mean, Aboken's still going to be trying to get the ring rust off, so Shavar wants to take advantage of that and start quickly.
There is a distinct age difference as well. Bakpi's 36 and Henry's 29, so
the faster pace would probably favor Shavar, definitely.
definitely, yeah.
Both guys being cautious here and feeling each other out.
That's what I was going to say, though. In a 4-round fight, you can't afford to give away a round. Either way, whether it's just a 10-9 round or a couple of big punches, you just cannot afford that in a quick fight like this.
Yeah. So if you're going to feel somebody out, at least utilize the jab and score some points.
Step back.
Bakpi wearing the white trunks, black shoes. And of course, Shavar Henry wearing his traditional black and gold.
Interesting to watch the footwork here and to see, you know, how they're trying. One guy's trying to take advantage of the guy's stepping back. Like it's interesting. That's where the fight's going to be won. It's definitely going to be a footwork fight.
Final seconds of the first round.
And the problem is, possibly saved by the bell there, but you talk about footwork. And as an orthodox fighter facing a southpaw fighter, moving to your right could be very dangerous because you're walking right into a
100%.
straight left hand.
Yeah. That was a tough round to score until the very end there. That little uppercut there might have won Aboken the round. What do you think, Michelle? Who do you got?
I know, you're putting me on the spot here. It's a good flurry.
That's your job, though. Put you on the spot.
Well, exactly. Well,
Good job,
and
Sid.
the thing is, too, not only did he move to his right, but it was up against the ropes. Like, those are very vulnerable positions to be in. I'm going to go, I kind of agree with you there. That's a tough one to score, guys.
Sid, when you look at Mark Simmons in the ring as the third man in the ring, how important is that he was a former fighter in his own right and a well-accomplished former fighter in his own right? Does he give a little more leeway in the ring?
He definitely understands what it's like to be in there, and he's got a good eye for when a guy's actually hurt or whether it's, he's stunned and that sort of thing. So, yeah, it definitely makes an advantage for the fighters.
Michelle, do you think at that point, does he let them get away with a little more than other judges might?
You know what? We've seen in the past a couple fights that he's, as Sid mentioned, saved a few guys, because really at the end of the day, it's your long-term life and health, right? So, of course, we've seen Shavard brutally knock out John Mercanti in this very arena.
And I want to say, just for Shavar Henry, not John Mercanti, but for Shavar Henry, that was a big stepping stone in his career to show that he has the power to be able to take someone out like that.
And it was scary because he fell right in front of our booth. And
sure
I almost had to catch him because he was falling out of the ring.
No one better to catch him, though.
Yeah, sure.
We're starting to see the chess match unfold a little bit here. Aboken's kind of said, listen, if you're going to come in, you're going to eat some heavy leather. And Shavar's not really trying to come in as much because he's tasted some big shots now from Aboken. You see him waiting there. He's waiting. Look. Oh. And this is where the size difference comes into play. Aboken using it perfectly, making the small guy have to commit to try and come in.
And that's the thing, you're committing your footwork and you're putting yourself in danger. You have to land significant shots when you are in there and then get out as fast as possible.
Yeah. Shavar's just sitting in front of him, though. He's sitting in front of him instead of cutting the angles.
Shavar looks to be going to the body early on, and you got to wonder if he's got enough time to be able to do that, do enough damage inside in the body.
In 4 rounds, yeah, it's going to be tough.
That's what I'm saying. Great combination from Henry.
And that's what he's got to do. Once he hits, he's got to put 3 or 4 together. Oh.
That round definitely was Henry's round. Yeah. There wasn't as much dispute there. Still, a chess match, right?
I got it even so far through 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I have it as straight, even, 1-1.
That was a good, low high right there, mixing it up, making the bigger fighter miss. Now you got to wonder too. Yes, 4 rounds is a short fight in comparison to obviously championship rounds, but for a guy that's had a layoff of 2 years, then you factor in, I don't want to say the age, but the age does play a factor. He's looking pretty tired right now, I'm not going to lie.
Come on. Michelle, how many fights have we seen guys over the age of 40?
Absolutely.
In the last few times?
No, you're right. I'm not.
And a guy you work out with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Big Ray, yeah.
And Big Ray's fighting for the championship as well, for the heavyweight championship. He just won it back.
Those are some big boys with some big punches.
Those are massive men, yes. Shavar's looking like he's pushing the pace now, though, in this third round.
Wisely so.
Yeah.
I don't think Abok will be able to keep up with him if he picks up the pace.
Am I mistaken, or is it to Bokby's to his advantage that it's only a 4-round fight?
Yeah, I think it's to Abok's advantage. Definitely, that's a shorter fight. Oh!
Big right hand coming from Shavar Henry. Again, a good combination. Henry connecting with another. Shavar Henry. Oh, he gets stunned. He gets stunned with an overhand left.
As Michelle pointed out, Shavar definitely coming out this round some fire.
Shavar is always at his best when he's pushing the pace.
You kind of got to question, too. It's got to be a personal thing as well, right? Like, all this is just, what you're capable of, and you think you should be dancing around this old man. That's what I'm thinking if you're Shavar Henry.
And Shavar going to work, and the body shots now starting to pay dividends a little bit. You see,
open mouth.
He's
breathing.
I questioned it in the early going in a short fight that going to the body might not be the best tactics, but you're right, it's paying dividends right now.
Yeah. And they always say against older fighters, hit him to the body.
But Bokby is nothing short of well out of shape.
Well, and that's one thing, too, that you got to like about Henry's game is the fact that when you first turn pro, I know, and a lot of amateur fighters, they headhunt. They don't really see why or understand the real reason why you go to the body, or they they just don't put the time into doing 100%. It because they are going for that big knockout and they're headhunting. But, I mean, a well-placed body shot just keels people over.
Yeah. Much like baseball, it's like hitting the home run instead of the RBI single,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Yep. You just want to get in there and knock a guy out because that's the glory.
You got to think, too, we talked a little bit earlier about pace, right? And obviously Henry came out with a lot more pace in that one and throwing punches and combinations. But what does it say, too, when you're fighting against a bigger fighter, longer reach, you get sucked into his pace. And you kind of feel that maybe that happened in the first 2 rounds. He got kind of sucked into what Bokby was doing, and then you kind of become that slower fighter, even though you're totally not that person.
Yeah, it's so true. You got to be careful that you got to fight your own fight your own pace, and not get suckered in or lulled into sleeping.
Yeah, really. That's what Bokby wanted, because he could then control the fight slowly on the outside, dictate everything from the outside at his pace and what he wants to do. The one shot that actually did land on Henry that round, almost a forearm shiver there.
I have a feeling we're going to see a really good last round here.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll tell you something. Abakan Bokby is looking a little tired coming into the 4th round.
But he's
got to
moving
wonder
forward.
if he's sufficiently prepared for this round.
Mm-hmm. It's the first time, though, I've really seen him move forward. He's actually moving forward, trying to land something. So he probably believes he's behind.
Good counter coming from Shavar Henry. Henry just misses with that right uppercut. Bachby misses with the left. Henry moves him back to the center of the ring.
Heavy punches.
Yeah, good quality left coming from Bachby.
This is one thing that I'm actually kind of surprised about. Bachby has had him now a few times in the corners, but he hasn't kept him there and put some more damage to him. He's literally been able to walk out.
Yeah, he's letting his man loose, and that's a big challenge that he's going to have to face in the last minute and a half. Big challenge coming from Junmar Henry.
Bachby mocking him though.
And that's always a sign, Michelle, that
he's actually
you're
injured.
hurt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, a big overhand right coming from Henry. Henry trying to tee him up. Bachby throwing a quick left over the top of Henry. Into the corner they go. He's got Henry in the corner, but he's not doing much with it. He's missing with 2 and 3 punches. Finally, he's got Henry with a couple of quick lefts. Henry backed into the ropes, has to move out to the middle of the ring. He finally is able to turn it around. Bachby's corner saying you're winning the round, keep it going. Final seconds of the final round. Henry knows he's got to get one last punch in, finally connects with a left. They clinch, and the round comes to a close.
Shavar started that round off really good, and then
it deteriorated, didn't it?
Sure did. And we thought it was going to go the other way in terms of conditioning.
You know, and
Michelle, would this be a different fight if it was a 6 or 8 round fight?
yeah, absolutely, for sure. You had another 2 rounds, and I don't think you see that same kind of push at the end from Bachby that we just saw. And you know, the crazy thing is that we saw him literally right in front of us here against the ropes, or putting Henry up against the ropes rather, and he was hitting him with some shots, but a lot were missing. I mean, he was throwing a lot of tired looping shots, I noticed. You know, nothing really straight down the pipe, but he did control that round. So
yeah, Bachby for sure showed that he knew what he needed to do in this last round, and he did it.
Okay, guys, how do we score this one, though?
Sid doesn't even want to do anything.
Come on,
right
Sid.
now.
No. This you're sitting in a commentator spot now. You're not sitting in a coach's spot. How do you score this one?
That
Okay,
could be a
Michelle,
split.
let's
That could
go
be
to
a
you.
Split. I mean, as much as I would like to see
I got this
Shavar-
as a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it as a draw. Henry won the 2 middle rounds, but lost the first and the last.
Yeah, I mean, the first could have kind of gone either way. So essentially, it could be 3-1. They could see it 3-1 in terms of Henry winning this one. But that first round, see how it happens, right? You want to kind of, even though you don't have a lot of time to feel out your opponent, sometimes that ends up being, you know, what does you in.
One of the things that a little bit of silence there from Sid and I while Michelle was talking was because we had it scored exactly the same, and that was Henry winning the middle 2 rounds and losing the first and the 4th round, and that's where we come with a draw. We'll see what happens as we go to the scorecards. Here's the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, after a great 4 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Judge John Wiley scores the bout 39-37 Bachby. Judge Jeremy Hayes scores the bout 39-37 Henry. And Judge Harry Davis scores the bout 39-37 in favor of the winner by split decision, Boken Buckby!
Wow, split decision. You know, we knew it was going to go one way or the other. I'm not sure there was a distinct winner in this fight. Michelle?
You know, you always say you never want to leave it up to the judges. We had 3 judges here, and all 3 of us
100%.
scored it the exact same way.
Yep.
First and fourth went to Buckby, and then the middle 2 went to Henry. But, I mean, that's what happens.
So it's a couple of points.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens when you come to, the judges' scorecards. And the thing is, too, you always say you always want to push within the last 30 seconds because those are the lasting images that a judge has. Each round, 2-3 minute round, depending on where you're at in your professional career. So those last 30-40 seconds is what is the lasting image in a judge's mind, and sometimes that could win you a fight.
Yeah, Michelle, that's stealing the rounds. That's what the coach called, steal the round. You always try and steal the round. The last 30 seconds, you got to pour it on.
You know, when you look at a fight like this, and we take a look at some of the images from this fight, only a 4-round fight, Sid, and Henry came out with some big shots, but he took some shots of his own.
Yeah, and I don't know if Shavar was hurt at the end there. Like, he seemed to be
Dazed a little bit almost,
yeah, but
right?
he's still seeing the punches, and he chose to be on the defense, and I think that's what lost him the fight. He chose to be on the defense.
Michelle, some final thoughts on that fight?
That was the fight I was looking forward to. So far, so good.
Yeah, great
Coming
fight.
back with more of Championship Boxing. Stay with us on Rogers TV.
133 for Mr. Nagy.
Back up, there's a look at the weigh-ins for our upcoming bout. It's dubbed Josh O'Reilly taking on Imre Nagy. Nagy at 14-7 with 6 KOs. Let's go to the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the ring, Imre Nagy.
Good look at Nagy coming in from Hungary. (14-7), we said, with 6 knockouts. So he's got a bit of a power behind him as well.
Yeah, and a good bit of experience. I mean, 21 fights. That's pretty good.
Josh O'Reilly.
Josh O'Reilly making his way to the ring. He's a perfect 5-0, and Sid, again we see a former champion, a former boxer as the 3rd man in the ring in Donovan Boucher.
Yeah, and I just think it's great that guys that have retired from competing in the ring are now in the ring helping do what they love to do and see other boxers, shoot for their dreams. And he's a great referee. I've seen him do a couple of fights already, this year. So good stuff.
Michelle, it's got to be really big for the sport as well to see former champions and former boxers becoming not just a secondary role, but becoming another face to the face of Canadian boxing.
I was just going to say, it kind of adds to, a tradition that I think we're not exactly known for as Canadians, but I think it's growing, and, people like that staying in the sport and representing it can only be good for growing it.
100%, Ken. O'Reilly gets into the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest proudly brought to you by Pressler Law Firm, Phillips Moving and Storage, OLG Slots at Woodbine, and OLG Slots at Ajax. This bout scheduled for 6 rounds in the super featherweight division. Your judges for this contest, Mr. John Wiley, Mr. Jeremy Hayes, and Mr. Harry Davis. Your referee, Mr. Donovan Boucher. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he comes to the ring wearing all black. His professional record, 14 wins, including 6 by way of knockout, 7 losses. All the way from Szentes, Hungary, he weighed in at 131.4 pounds, Imre Lucianegi. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing the colors of the Emerald Isle, he hails from Steeltown, undefeated as a professional, 5 wins, no losses. He weighed in at 131.4 pounds, Josh Dubs O'Reilly.
Gentlemen, I gave you the pre-fight instructions in the changing room. All I want is for you to listen to my comment at all times, protect yourself at all times. Over here is good, over here is good. All right, Touch Club guys, good luck to both of you.
Well, we get set for the first round. How important is it that Josh O'Reilly, coming off a broken hand, you gotta wonder if he's holding back a little bit, maybe, you know, second guessing throwing that hand?
He should have probably had it tested up pretty good in sparring and during in training, so he should be in there very confident that everything is good and just let punches fly.
Michelle, one of the big things we talked about, and last time we had a chance to talk with Brandon Cook, who's our main event tonight.
Same
Bad Boy
situation,
said,
yeah.
the Bad Boy said, hey, he broke his hand, and he thinks that the Canadian way of doing things, of taping your hands, has to do with so many broken hands on fighters nowadays.
Yeah, and I don't think it's so much Canadian as in Ontario, because it's the Ontario.
It's Ontario way.
Yes. And it's only one roll of tape being used, so he's hoping that
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
things should be changed in the future to protect fighters a little bit more. You know, we talked earlier about protecting fighters and having former fighters in the ring and being referees, and that's a great way of protecting them because they know when a fighter is really injured before that extra knockout punch, so to speak. So why not take that extra step in protecting our fighters?
Sid, when you're taping hands, one little mistake with tape when you've only got one rule could cost a man not just a fight, but months. You're right, Michelle, months.
Yeah, I mean, and some of these guys, I mean, this is what they've chosen to do, and to get a broken hand and be out for months, that's huge in a career.
O'Reilly doing a great job staying away from those big lefts. Michelle, O'Reilly seems to be going right for the body in the early going.
Yeah, he's doing a really great job slipping, and you know, when he slips, we talked a little bit earlier about taking advantage of the opportunities when he's seen them, and it's happening instantaneously.
Sid, how important it is for a guy with 5 pro fights to his credit, fighting a guy with 21 pro fights.
It's a great confidence boost, and he's handling it really well. I mean, you can see right now he's controlling the ring. He's got the power, and yeah, he's having his way.
You know, Doug, I think too, Naji's record is actually a little bit deceiving because 6 of his 21 fights were against competitors or opponents that were making their debuts.
And Naji's body becoming a little bit red there from O'Reilly's body shots.
Oh, good punch from O'Reilly. That left connects right to the kidneys.
O'Reilly showing some really good power here early in the first, and those body shots, they're not only landing, they're landing hard with considerable power. Naji, you know, he tried to throw a couple flurries there, but they were small, tiny taps, you know?
Naji's, you look at him in the corner, and Naji is breathing heavily after that first round. So you got to wonder, Sid, those body shots are taking their toll.
Yeah, they are, and he's going to come out thinking about not getting hit to the body, which is going to open up
his head.
Yeah.
Head.
You can see his corner telling him, watch out for that combination, because that left is going to drop from up top to down low, and there's where he connected.
Yeah, Riley working both sides. O'Reilly's doing a great job there.
And, you know, we've got a little bit of a connection as well. You know, O'Reilly hailing out of Hamilton. Naji's actually fought before here in Canada as well. And the only other time he's fought in Canada, he fought Stephen Wilcox. And that was actually a loss as well for him. So one of his 7 losses came to the one and only Stephen Wilcox.
Sid, Hamilton's becoming a real hotbed for up-and-coming boxers.
Yeah, the steel town, you know, and like, you know, Michelle alluded to earlier, they understand that they need to work together and work with other fighters in Canada to produce the best. And as long as they keep on doing that, we're going to have a long history and tradition of good boxers coming out of Hamilton.
Good quality left and right coming from O'Reilly. Overhand right, left, trying to put together a combination. Naji coming in for the clinch. They move back to the center of the ring. Michelle Sid alluded to it earlier. Look at the red markings along the body, especially on the left side of Naji.
Well, what's happening is O'Reilly's coming in, putting together 3-4 punches, and then finishing with the body hook, and it's landing every time because Naji's unfortunately turtling those first 4 punches and leaving his body open for that finishing shot. Liver shot.
You gotta like those, don't you, eh?
Oh, man, they're brutal.
Good combination, following it up. There's a nice shot coming from O'Reilly.
Not only is O'Reilly a hard puncher, he's very accurate.
Yeah, not a lot is missing right now, I guess.
Yes.
But when you got a guy that's laying himself open like that, it's a target that just, you know what, you can't help but hit the bullseye. Like you said, Michelle, he's turtling on those first couple of shots, and then he leaves himself open for the last couple.
Yeah.
There you go again. O'Reilly with a great job working the body. Tries to go over top and just missed. They tangle at the corner, and Donovan Boucher, our third man in the ring, moves them back to the center of the ring. Great job to finish off the round from Dubs. Josh O'Reilly, again, in my opinion, has taken the first 2 rounds with relative ease.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, one thing, too, about his flurries and why he's also been successful is, you know, we talked a little bit earlier about cadence, for instance, right? So switching up your cadence, having, you know, 2 slow, 3 fast, that kind of thing. But what he's doing he's doing that with his power. So he can come in and he's killing you with his speed at first. His first 3-4 punches are tap, 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 speed in your face, and then he's finishing with the hard body shot. So he's giving you so many different things. He's not only going to head and body, he's giving you different speeds, and he's also varying his power. So he's doing a lot of really good things on offense right now.
Oh, absolutely. And Sid, as a coach, how do you tell your guy to defend against that?
He's got to throw more punches. He's just got to put.
He's got to be more active, doesn't he?
100%.
Yeah, there's a point in the fight where you have to just say, you know what, let it all loose.
Yeah, because there's a point where it's like you're just gonna sustain more damage if you don't let your hands go, and we're getting close to that point.
O'Reilly putting together a nice combination, moves his man into the corner. Najee along the ropes. O'Reilly's got him in the corner again, goes down low. Good combination over top with the right. He knocks him down. Dubs O'Reilly takes his man down here in round number 3, and there's lots of time left before the bell. He's out. Donovan Boucher waves his man down as Josh Dubs O'Reilly moves his record to a perfect 6-0.
First knockout as well. Exactly. 2.5 rounds of going to the body, finally opened up the head as we mentioned, and it was right on the button, a right hand, right to the chin.
And said that right wasn't just a wild right, it was straight to the chin.
Yeah, very accurate. He knew what he was going to do once he got his man backing up, and he delivered.
I have to say, if you're a coach, that is a clinic, and you show your fighters and your potential fighters, all right, this is what you should be doing.
Exactly.
You know,
put that on film and show everybody
absolutely.
in your club, this is how we do it.
Very impressive, very impressive win.
Take a look at this once again. Sid, take us through this knockout.
Yeah, he got Najee backing up off balance, and then just followed him up with a right hand straight to the chin, and that's the result.
Other things that need to be mentioned too, with how effective body shots are. So not only do they hurt like heck, but they affect your breathing immensely. It's so hard to breathe in there, and when you can't breathe, you get tired. What happens when you get tired? Your hands fall down. So it's just a succession of bad to worse when you're a fighter and you're taking that kind of punishment and you're trying to be defensive and you're trying to, protect yourself, really. And at the end of the day, that's what he's trying to do, at least protect himself.
Great job by O'Reilly to finish things off in style.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fight is stopped at 48 seconds of round number 3. Your winner by TKO, Josh Dubs O'Reilly!
Look here, man. Yeah! Yeah!
Josh O'Reilly coming through with a perfect 6-0 record, and as Michelle alluded to, his first knockout.
Which is surprising.
Yeah, seeing what we saw, that is surprising. That was one question that, if you haven't seen a fighter a lot and you take a look at his record, sometimes the numbers don't really tell you the full story, because you're thinking to yourself, well, he's a well-conditioned fighter because he's been able to go the distance, but, you really question his power. He hasn't been able to, finish off opponents up until this point. Well, clearly, don't judge a book by its cover, right?
But every highlight we've seen of Joshua Riley in this bout was a body shot, and finally finishing off with that big right hand, coming through with his first knockout. We're coming back with more of championship boxing. Stay with us, more to come.
I guess I was only, I played school team sports, but the only real extracurricular sport I ever played was hockey, but I was always terrible at it. I was consistently the worst player on my team, and it was once I finally had a fight and I won, just realizing I did this all on my own. I felt like when I was on team sports, it was always, if the team won, it wasn't because of me, but if we lost, it was because of me. They'd say, oh, we lost because you're crap. But when I boxed, I realized if I lose, it's on me, but if I win, it's on me too. It's only your decision whether you win or lose. And a big part of it too was realizing there was a few fights later on where I was fighting guys that I knew were bigger than me, taller, faster, more skilled. There was a few times where I let those guys beat me because I'd say, this guy's better than me, I'm not going to beat this guy. But then eventually there was one guy that I knew was really good, one of my buddies who was a lot better than me, just barely beat him. And I was kind of nervous before the fight. I think this is it. This is when I really fell in love with boxing. I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm beating this guy. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to beat this guy today. Once I realized that you can find all these different ways to win, I can beat guys who are way better than me just by sheer determination. Brian used to tease me, when I was a kid, I always go, I'd say, Brian, what do you want me to do? He'd say, all you got to do is win. And at first I go oh, that's a stupid smart ass answer. That doesn't help me at all. But then one day I realized hey, that's all I have to do is win. I can decide however I'm going to do that, but it's solely up to me whether I win or lose. Winning and losing, the difference between winning and losing is a decision that you make on how far you're willing to go to win. And I think that was kind of where I started to love it. Even today, I don't think I'm the best boxer. I'm far from the best boxer. I'm not the fastest guy. I'm not the strongest guy. But when I do win, it's because I'm not going to let the other guy beat me. And that's all there is to it.
Let's go back to the ring. Here's another Battle of Ontario.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Steve Rainford.
Both fighters coming to the ring are very early on in their professional career. Steve Rainford, though, 1-2 with his only win coming via the knockout.
Yeah, I've seen Steve Rainford. Saw him fight a few times in the amateurs, and he knocked a few people out in the amateurs with the amateur gloves, and he's actually got a really good right hand. It's just can he land it on Ori Cox?
Michelle, the amateurs are quite different from the pros.
Yeah, and
not just in scoring, but in the way they attack a bout.
Well, and I think too, the interesting part about this fight is the fact that it's one of two rematches that we have on this card. So these two fighters faced off 9 months ago, with Cox coming away with a unanimous decision. And then we saw Cox, the last time out here at the Hershey Center, he came away with his first KO, so he's, riding a really big high too. And then you gotta wonder what Steve Rainford's, thinking and wanting to do now with this rematch against Ori.
It's always a matter of,
ladies and gentlemen, coming down the aisle, Ori Cox.
How do you treat this kind of a situation, or you don't want to get too high or too low. And what do you know it? We mentioned the Batman. Brampton Batman's here.
Of course. You knew it was going to happen.
Well, you never know.
Yes, you do.
The suspense on me.
I want a selfie with Batman.
But, going back to that, how much can emotion draw into this? Or how much do you let it draw into it? Because really, you want to be even keel in there, but it's very hard to keep your emotions intact, especially when you're fighting against a guy that just beat you in August. It's very close to the short turnaround in terms
100%.
of
Yeah,
your memory is
absolutely.
right there of what happened.
Sid, I'm going to ask you a question that I know is, how important is it to have a former champion in your corner?
Knowing that you have a guy in your corner that's actually been to where you want to be is huge, because you know he understands and he's walked that road. So it's a big advantage when you're able to kind of tap into that and suck, you know, all that information and knowledge from that trainer.
They call him the rock star, but I'll tell you something, Ori Cox has been one of the best that's been produced in the local
Ladies and
area.
gentlemen, Pressler Law Firm, OLG Slots at Woodbine, and OLG Slots at Ajax proudly present this 6th-round tilt in the Super Welterweight division. Your judges for this contest, Mr. Martin Delita, Ms. Kelly Zolnicek, and Mr. Harry Davis. When the bell sounds, your referee is Mr. Dave Dunbar. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trimmed with white. Competing tonight in his 4th pro bout, he has one career victory coming by way of knockout. From London, Ontario, weighing in at 159.6 pounds, Steve Rainford. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing all black, and accompanied to the ring tonight by the Dark Knight himself. He is undefeated as a professional, 3 wins, 1 coming by way of knockout, no defeats. From Orangeville, Ontario, weighing in at 159.8 pounds, Ori Cox.
Head moving, hands strong. Gentlemen, we went through the rules in the dressing room. I like a good clean fight. I want you to blame my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. Above here is a good blow. Above here is a good blow. Any questions from the red corner? Blue? Gentlemen, touch gloves. Go to the bell. Good luck to you both.
Just to clarify, Sid, as well, we were talking earlier about the corner of Ori Cox, and Brian Mackey is the guy we were talking about. But here's a guy that fought in Las Vegas on a world stage, and that's a big deal having in your corner.
Yeah, he understands what it is to perform under high amounts of pressure, and
like you have.
Yeah, and so now you know you can look at your fighter and be like, okay, you know, I got to bring him up or I got to bring him down, and
wow, what a right hand coming from Ori Cox.
Yeah, I talked about Rainford's right hand, and Ori Cox put one right on the chin there, and down goes Rainford. He looks okay, though. Call that a flash knockdown.
Cox going in for the kill now, pushing him against the ropes.
Cox looking for the uppercut there, missed it.
Again, good quality cut, and Cox knocks him down for a 2nd time in the 1st round. This time it looks, Michelle, like Rainford's hurt, unlike the flash knockdown in the 1st.
Yeah, 2 minutes left in this round. He's not, it's over.
Wow, what a thunderous right hand coming from Ori Cox, Michelle.
Unbelievable. You could tell Rainford, you gotta hope that he's okay.
Yeah, they need to get a stool on for that, gentleman.
Yeah. And he was holding his hands a little low, you he had them sitting on his chin, but it wasn't really covering up the temple, and came over the top.
See, you can't leave yourself that wide open that early on in a fight.
Yeah, he was moving forward, trying to land his own fight, his own punches, but got caught in between.
So this is knockdown 1 of 2.
Yeah, and it wasn't even full contact technically. He just beat him to it. His hands were kind of out. And that's another thing about boxing and the sport that really people don't understand unless they get in there. The fact that you have to punch while someone is punching you. It's not, okay, I'm going to give you 2 punches and you punch me back 3 punches and back and forth. Yeah, it happens at times, but I mean, it's punching while being punched, and sometimes whoever gets there first is exactly who's going to come out the victor, and that's what happened with Ori Cox, especially on that flash knockdown.
Yeah, and the straightest line is usually the quickest one, and Cox went straight, Rainford came around, and that was the result.
Cox giving Brampton Batman a big hug too.
Yeah, we'll go to the ring for the result of this one, but we all know what happened. A first round KO from Ori Cox. 2 rights dropped Steve Rainford twice in the first round. Ori Cox coming up big here at the Hershey Center.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dave Dunbar stops the fight at 1 minute, 16 seconds of round number 1. Your winner by TKO, Ori Cox.
I'll say Ori at least isn't stealing my microphone from me this time around.
He didn't just do it once to you. He did it 3 times.
He's a sweetheart. I will have you know that he contacted me
Yes, he did.
The day after, and he said, I had no idea that I did that. My coaches showed me the film afterwards. I am so sorry. But he was excited about the win, and as he should be. It was his first professional knockout. Now he gets a second professional knockout in front of former Raptor Alvin Williams, who's in the house front row with us.
Absolutely taking on some of the action here as Ori Cox wins his 4th in a row, and this one in style, Sid.
For sure. Alvin Williams and Batman watching him do his thing. What a night.
You think Alvin Williams is here to see this fight, or is he here for... Oh, I don't know. Are the Raptors playing a game soon?
On Sunday, actually, yeah.
There's Ori Cox. He comes through with a big knockout in the first round. We're coming back with more from the Hershey Center in Mississauga. Stay with us.
The manager of Junmar Emon. There's a wicked right.
Of your winner by unanimous decision, and still undefeated, Kevin Higson.
Junmar Emon de Oliveira, fighting Kevin Higson for a rematch for the Canadian title, and make it more convincing this time and get that W. No judges involved. First fight I thought I won, and just have to be more convincing this time and make sure the judges see it my way and no other way. Aggression, harder shots, ring dominance, and yeah, 3 criteria that wins the fight, and I thought I did them all. My adjustments this time are still just aggressive, more punches, so the volume is more than his, and yeah, just be 100% more convincing. Rick Susay, my trainer, screams in my ear and pushes me harder than I thought I could, and you'll see it on Saturday. Going into this fight, I had really good sparring partners. Sam Vargas helped me out a lot, And yeah, we put in some good hard rounds, and because of him, I'm ready. My ideal night is very short, about 3 to 4 rounds. All right, give the crowd a show a little bit, and go home early, drink some beers.
So this is going to be a great matchup.
I'm really looking forward to this one. Kevin Higson at 7-0 with 1 KO to his credit, and El Toro Junmar Emon from Toronto at 6-3 with 2 KOs. That one's coming up next here on Championship Boxing. Stay with us.
Gentlemen, as we get ready for our co-feature of the evening, it is now time for the Phillips Moving and Storage Move of the Night, as we take 2 lucky fans from the grandstand and bring you to a ringside seat for our 2 championship matches. If you are sitting in section 22, row G, seats 8 and 9, please see a member of our staff, and we will bring you ringside for our co-feature and main event of the evening. And we march on to our co-main event. Please welcome Junmar Emon de Oliveira.
Michelle, when you talk about Junmar Emon, his record doesn't really tell the whole story about his career, does it?
No, we've spoken prior fights just about, how numbers aren't doing some of these fighters justice, and Junmar is definitely one of those guys too. And even the last time these 2 faced off, I honestly couldn't choose a winner. It could have gone either way. I mean, Higson, did obviously more to win that fight in the judges' eyes, but it was so razor close. And he's just such a talented fighter that's had an unfortunate 2015, back-to-back losses in 2015. Hopefully 2016 can change his luck a little bit.
And that's one of those things that you look at, a guy that's had a couple of really close fights that he came out on the wrong end.
Yeah, and they call him El Toro, but he's El Talented. I watched some of his fights, and
very good. You're like a pro at this, El Talented.
It's almost like he knows what he's doing.
Unbelievable. Sorry, continue.
Beginner's luck. No,
Finish your thoughts.
Some of the moves he makes in there, where he just makes a miss by an inch, a shoulder roll, he's got some really sweet moves.
Richard Sousay.
I was going to say, with Richard Sousay in your corner, you got to know there's another former champion that's coaching guys and said, you know what, I bow to you because, again, another former champion that's sitting there coaching the young stars of tomorrow.
Yeah, it's great to see these guys, these former champions and guys that have been down that road, instilling and teaching the next generation, what it takes and how to do it. So, really good.
Ladies and gentlemen, here comes Kevin Higson.
Boy, Junmar seems to be in the best shape I've seen him ever. He looks absolutely ripped.
And focused.
Yes.
Very focused.
You can tell he's been looking forward to this one, Michelle.
How can you not? How can you not? I mean, the first fight was phenomenal. And, in his mind, he probably thinks he won it. Right? If everyone else saw it as razor thin as I saw it,
Yeah, they both did very good work in that first fight. So, I look forward to seeing Junmar just do a little bit more. If he does a little bit more, he comes out with the victory.
Here comes Kevin Higson, putting his undefeated 7-0 record on the line. Not to mention that belt being held high.
Right.
Yeah, Higson undefeated with the belt. I mean, at this point, and he's got the victory once over Junmar, he's got everything to lose right here.
You know, Junmar, unfortunately, having a unanimous decision loss to Brandon Brewer back in December for the vacant WBA, NABA Canadian Super-Welterweight title as well. So, you know, you missed out on one title. Get yourself one here tonight at the Hershey Center.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pressler Law Firm, OLG Slots at Woodbine, and OLG Slots at Ajax proudly present the co-main event of the evening and this highly anticipated rematch scheduled for 10 rounds, and it is for the NABA Canadian Super-Welterweight Championship. Your judges for this contest are Mr. John Wiley, Mr. Harry Davis, and Mr. Jeremy Hayes. When the bell sounds, the referee is Mr. Rocky Zelnicek. Introducing first the challenger. Fighting out of the blue corner, he is wearing all black and hails from Toronto, Ontario. His professional record, 6 wins, 2 by way of knockout, 3 defeats. He weighed in at 153.6 pounds. Junmar Toro Emon de Oliveira. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trimmed with silver and red. He is undefeated as a professional, 7 victories, 1 by way of knockout, no defeats. From Steeltown, Hamilton, Ontario, he weighed in at 153.8 pounds. He is the reigning NABA Canadian Super-Welterweight Champion, Kevin Higson.
I went over the instructions in the change rooms. I expect you to obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Give me a clean fight. Come out banging.
Boy, the intensity on both of those faces, Michelle, was outstanding.
I love this sport. This is amazing.
Again, an Ontario battle. Toronto's Junmar Emon and Hamilton's Kevin Higson. Higson won the first of these 2 fights, as Michelle alluded to earlier, by a very slim margin.
And we saw Junmar rush out of his corner there to kind of impose his will and say, hey, I'm here.
True El Toro style, right?
One thing about Emon is we've seen in the past, he can take a big punch as well as giving one.
And they're both taking and giving early on here.
And he could definitely keep up an incredible pace as well.
One thing about Kevin Higson that we've seen in the past, Kevin Higson will fight any style that you want to take into the ring with him.
In the earlier fights, we saw, a feeling out process. None of that going on here.
No, they know each other very well.
I was going to say it's the opposite. There's a familiarity there. Soucy and company believe that he won the first time around, and they believe that he Junmar won against Brandon Brewer back in December as well. So, I mean, you're looking at a guy that his record could at least be 8-1, if not 9-0 as well, especially in his mind and his coach's minds. And he's been training with Sammy Vargas for this fight as well.
The heads come together there for a brief moment, and you see Junmar maybe on the receiving end. Rocky checks him out. There's no cut.
Sid, as a manager and a coach, why would Kevin Higson take this fight being already the champion? Why give a guy a second shot when you narrowly beat him the first time?
I think he just believes that, you know, it's just another fight, and he's going to do the same thing, another victory.
Good combination from Higson. Emon comes right back with a combination of his own.
Not a lot of jabs from either man. Really they're both going for power punches.
In a super welterweight division as this one is for a championship fight, does Emon's size and stature play a big factor in the long term?
You know what? If he uses his size to his advantage by staying low and ripping the body, like I said, it could be to his advantage.
Ooh.
That was different.
Let's tear down.
We usually see right at the beginning. We got to stare at the end of the round. It's beautiful.
Oh my. Junmar's come to play tonight, that's for sure. You know he's been looking forward to this one, Michelle. You know that he, not only does he think he won the first, he's sure he won the first time.
Yeah. I mean, how much is it, you know, in terms of getting back in there right away when you experience a loss, especially like you mentioned, you know, getting back in there quickly if you're not injured, but, you know, how is that mentally for someone, you know, losing such close fights?
Yeah,
in which ones you and your corner thought you won those fights.
Yeah, I think
those are hard ones to take. It's almost harder to take those.
Yeah, you see that from Junmar, though. He looks like he believes he won, and he's out there to prove it now. Nice right hand from Junmar.
Yeah, very nice right hand from Junmar. Following that up, Junmar doing a great job of protecting himself as he stays in the middle of the ring, keeping Kevin Higson to the outside. One of the big things, Michelle, I'm watching from Junmar is he's not just throwing 1-2, he's throwing 1-2-3, possibly 4 combinations.
Yeah, you saw him go to the body too early in this round.
Now Richard Sousay is in his corner, and Richard was one of our commentators here on Championship Boxing, and Richard said that it's very important, Sid, for guys not only to be able to go 1-2, but to be able to go 1-2 and follow it up with something else, something different.
Yeah, so really using the 1-2 to set up other punches.
Exactly.
Yeah. You see that there from Junmar.
Junmar going to the body. Higson comes over the top. Higson, oh, with a wild right.
Neither guy wants to let the other person control the pace. You see it when it's back and forth.
Good uppercut coming from Higson. Higson's fought this whole bout so far, and we're only talking 1 minute and 7 left in the second round, but he's fought this whole fight so far from the outside, Michelle. He hasn't been in the center of the ring.
No, he hasn't, and they're both hitting, you know, very clean shots. Like, they're both kind of wailing on each other at this point. We're only 2 rounds in here.
But that's the way these two guys fight, though. It's give one, take two, give two, take one.
In that first fight, I thought Higson more through volume as well, where Junmar was hitting him with the, big hard shots, and the volume worked for Higson the first time around, but now it's more so, it's like they're both standing toe-to-toe. Let's see who can take it.
Yeah, Sid, if this comes down to points, it's going to be Kevin Hickson's fight, isn't it? Because he's the champion.
That's right. The close decision usually goes to the champion. And I don't remember Junmar getting hit quite so flush the last time. He's taken them. That's for sure. A couple of seconds left in the second round, and they move on to their respective corners. A very active first 2 rounds, Michelle.
Well, and that last punch there by Higson doing a little bit of showboating as well. That was a flush, straight hit right there. And, we talk about the fact that Junmar can take a lot of punishment, but how much do you want to do that? This is round 2 of 10 right now. Those are hard shots to be taking within the first few minutes of a fight.
Yeah. And
how much you want to bet this goes 10 rounds, though?
Yeah, that's the way to punctuate the round there with that right hand.
We may have, our producer Fraser Toms might have coined a phrase. He said, "There's a punch and a wink." From Kevin. that could be a new boxing term. Give him a punch and a wink.
Little mouse just over the, or just under the left eye of Junmar Emon. When Kevin Hickson loads up that right hand, he can be as devastating in this weight class as anybody else. There's a great left coming from Higson. As flashy as that looked, it was all leather.
I will say though, I kind of feel like there's way more power in these punches.
Good body shot from Higson. Junmar Emon dictating the pace, though, here in the third round.
At this pace, I think we're definitely going to see conditioning become a factor in the later rounds.
Yeah, but you look at both these guys, though, and you can't see them both out of condition at all. Like they are both prepared for this fight. Like I said earlier, Michelle, I think Junmar Emon is in the best shape I've seen him in his 10 fights.
Well, I was just going to say, we've already discovered a mouse underneath his eye. When both fighters are pretty much wailing on each other like they are, how much does that take into consideration what a fighter looks like at the end of it all?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I mean, in mixed martial arts, it's a different game, but that does play a part in it as well.
I harken back to just a few weeks ago with the Canelo Alvarez fight against Khan. And all of a sudden it looked like Khan was dictating the whole fight. Alvarez steps in, connects once, and the fight's over.
Yeah, and Canelo had really set that up with some body work earlier on. And, he fished off with a big right hand. Junmar might have had too much to prove in this fight, and he's come out and forgot about his defense. I think he's even bleeding at this point.
He is bleeding right above his right eye. It's just at the corner of his eyebrow. And that's something he's got to be worried about, Michelle, is the fact that, I'm okay to take one to give one, but you can't take 3 to give one.
No, absolutely not.
Well, I know he's got John Malik in the corner there. He's a great cut man, so I'd expect to be able to close that up between rounds.
Higson's doing a lot of really good things just so he's using the jab, and then he's coming in with a simple 1-2, and then he's starting off his combinations with an uppercut. So he's really mixing up his shots, and they are all powerful shots that are landing. I mean, even if it's going through the glove, at this point they are landing.
Yeah, so
And you know, I referenced, you know, their previous fight, and it was almost as if Higson had punches and bunches versus Junmar's power, and Junmar could take more of those punches, but I don't know how much more you could take of more powerful punches, right? So he's expecting it to be the same kind of game plan or the same style from Higson, and it's a different style.
Yeah, in the first fight, it looked like two guys at the same level. Right now, Higson's starting to pull away. It looks like two guys at different levels. Like, we can tell that Higson's the champ. Look at him, he's got the bounce in his feet. He's ready. And sometimes that's what winning a belt does to you. Look at that. Nice
Great
Beautiful
job.
slip.
I was
Beautiful
going to
slip.
say, great job slipping that and then following it up with a combination of his own.
He won the title in August via his first knockout. So you have to think that the knockout, after all those decisions in those 6 previous victories, now has given him an extra jump in his step.
And a little more pop in his punch. He's hitting a lot harder, too.
From both sides, Sid, how much does familiarity from each other's style come into play?
Yeah, that comes into play right off the bat in terms of you don't need to feel the guy out. You just go and you kind of know what to expect. And so we saw that already. Like it just went right to war.
So, Michelle, there's nothing new that these guys have seen from each other.
And that's the funny thing. It's almost, well, if you're planning on a fighter to be a certain way and then they come out differently, like, it's almost a bad thing that you know the fighter too well, right?
Yeah.
You're expecting one thing, get another, and then you're kind of mentally caught off guard.
It's almost like fighting your former sparring partner.
Yeah, the familiarity, definitely. We saw Emon throw an overhand right and landed right on Brewer's chin and didn't really faze him.
Both guys connect with lefts. Boy, Emon is throwing from his heels too. He's not letting anything go. He's throwing right from his heels, and he's going for the knockout. There's that big uppercut coming from Junmar. Higson backs him into the corner, pushes him back again. Emon trying to fight his way out of the corner. Higson. Higson connects with that uppercut. Emon. Again, Emon looking for that big right, and it's just not coming.
Yeah, he just missed that uppercut, man.
Wow, they're going toe-to-toe from bell to bell.
Looks like another headbutt there at the end of the round. Junmar getting the worst of it, unfortunately.
And that happens with the smaller boxer.
Yeah, they're fighting in close quarters, very close.
So round 4 is in the books. We move on to round number 5 now. Junmar Emon, El Toro taking on Kevin Higson. Higson, a perfect 7-0, is the Canadian Super-Welterweight champion. Emon, of course, this is the rematch. This is where Emon lost by a narrow decision the last time these fighters came together. There's Junmar with the big overhand right. He connects twice. But like you said, Sid, didn't look like Kevin Higson was that fazed by it.
Yeah, Higson taking the punches very, very well. If there's such a thing. Good exchange in the center of the ring there.
Unbelievable.
At the end of the last round, I saw Junmar start to drop his hands and start to get a little more defensive, which is what we saw in the first fight, which was kind of effective. So let's see if he continues being a little more defensively sharp as this round goes on.
So this is what I'm seeing as it could be a problem for Emon in order to land effective strikes. He's rushing in there, right? Because he's a smaller fighter. You obviously have to get inside the longer, taller fighter. But when you rush in there too, sometimes you get in so tight that you're not getting full power on your punches either, which is sometimes what's really happening. They're kind of dirty boxing. There is the good range that he needs. He's almost overrunning his range or overstepping his range.
Yeah, Michelle, you're exactly right there. And I think what his corner said, though, is you need to get on the inside because you're getting peppered on the outside.
Yeah.
So
it's a real fine line that you obviously don't want to be on the wrong side of, right? Because if you're too far outside, then you can't hit him. He's hitting you.
Yeah, and if Higson takes one step back and punches, he's going to run right into something.
Yep. When you're in too tight, you're not landing effective strikes. You got to find that perfect range.
It seems Junmar is going more to the body this round, doesn't it?
Yeah, which is a good strategy. I mean, we do have a 10-round fight here, so that could pay dividends. Higson back on the stick there, using that jab to keep Junmar out.
You find it interesting that Junmar's controlling the center of the ring? It's the fifth round, and for the better part of 5 rounds, he's been standing in the middle of the ring, keeping Kevin Higson moving around the outside.
Yeah, great strategy, and it'll make it difficult for Higson to land the punches he wants if his back is against the ropes all the time.
Four right hands in a row coming from Kevin Higson. Final seconds here in the 5th round.
Well, gentlemen. Oh, they're getting...
Yeah, Rocky Zahirchuk, the 3rd man in the ring, is telling both fighters, hey, when you're in the clinch, I don't want to see more of these little rabbit punches, these little, little shots that you're trying to get in.
Possibly warning for headshots too, or headbutts rather, excuse me.
Yeah, whatever it was, he was very stern about, making sure they understood that he's the man in control in that ring.
So, gentlemen, we have 5 rounds in the books. How do they look on your scorecards? I have it 4-1 Higson right now.
I do as well. I've got Junmar Emon only winning the 1st round.
Do I have to say?
Yeah, you have to say.
Yeah, you have to.
And by all means, disagree. But tell me why you disagree.
I've got it 3-2 for Higson, and I've got Junmar winning the last 2 rounds.
Wow.
Just aggressive.
Aggressive approach,
yeah.
Did it for you?
Yeah.
See, Rocky Zahirchuk now saying to the guys, hey, let's get it going. I've told you what I need to see from you. Now let's play it into action. And Sid, when you're in a corner and you see Rocky in the ring, you know you're getting a square fight.
Yeah. Great flurry right there from Emon.
Yep.
Good right hand from Higson, though. Again, in the clinch, both guys throwing the fights, and there you go. Rocky Zahirchuk separates the 2 fighters.
Higson really going to that uppercut when they're in close quarters and then following it up with an overhand right.
Oh, Junmar just missed that huge right. Oh, there's a big right coming from Kevin Higson.
Junmar comes back with a right of his own.
He sure did.
Oh, a punch on the break. Rocky's not going to like that one.
Oh, and the fans are not liking that one either here at the Hershey Center.
You gotta like it when two local boxers face each other, then you get a lot of rivalries even in the stands.
South side, north side of this arena are certainly cheering for different boxers.
Nice counter right hand there by Emon.
Higson looks to be a little stunned after that combination from Emon.
Definitely a good strategy by Emon, you know, kind of bowling into him or, you know, bullying into him, and Higson kind of moving backwards, so his punches don't have as much power, and it's harder to punch moving backwards than it is moving forwards, and being off balance as well. Can't land when you're off balance.
So true. I'm not sure why Higson's not using his jab more. When he's using his jab from the outside, he seems
I was just going to say, he was keeping him at bay for the longest time by using the jab.
Yeah, and then he put it away and allowed Junmar to get on the inside.
Big right hand. At the end of that round, too, you saw Junmar momentarily switch stances, too, to almost kind of play with Higson mentally there as well. It's funny, the first few rounds, after the round, you saw Higson, you know, doing the mental bullying, I guess you could say, and now the last few rounds, it's been Emon doing the exact same thing. Definitely no love lost between these two guys.
No, definitely some ebb and flow here with the emotion and the tide of the fight.
You know what? I wouldn't say love lost. I would say mutual respect.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
They really want to fight each other. This is a big deal for both of these guys. Look at Richard Susie. He's saying to his man, Junmar, I want to see that big overhand right because you're just missing that, and that could be the difference in this fight.
So maybe he heard us, or maybe RG heard us, or someone heard us, because Higson trying to stick to the outside now.
And pumping that jab.
Yeah. Move in, move out.
Because we have so much sway in this fight.
Yeah,
Good right to the body from Emon. Higson just missing with the left hook. Fighters tie each other up again. You know, Rocky's not going to let this go very far. Great straight left coming from Higson. Emon. All gloves on that one.
You know, another thing that's, you know, really working effectively for Emon is the fact that, you know, he's being able to do this, and he's utilizing, or excuse me, he's totally taking away Higson's strengths. So what he was doing so well in those first few rounds, we mentioned the jab, we mentioned the 1-2s, sticking to the outside, and I kind of feel like the footwork has stopped as well. So it's literally just Higson standing in front of him, going back and forth, and that's the only footwork we're really seeing from Higson when he's getting caught up in these exchanges in Junmar. We're not seeing as many angles, and we're not seeing, you know, the good footwork to the outside as much.
Yeah, Michelle, you had said it earlier, like how does a little guy or smaller fighter have to get on the inside? Well, at this point, he didn't have to worry about it, so it just becomes a punching match.
Right.
And now you see Higson getting back to a little bit more movement, which makes it difficult.
Good left coming from Emon. He connects right to the chin of Kevin Higson. The champion battles back to the center of the ring. Both guys in tight.
Nice overhand right there, connected by Emon. And he goes for it again.
Yeah, you look at the red welts on the body of Kevin Higson, on the left side especially. That's where Emon's been connecting a lot through the first 6 rounds.
Emon there finishing with a flurry, stealing that round.
This is a very even fight right now, gentlemen. Once again, here we go.
Bend your knees and work downstairs.
Did you expect anything different?
You understand? Bend your knees and work downstairs and finish back up top and then punches.
So we're hearing a little bit from Higson's corner and RG telling him to bend his knees a little bit, work downstairs, work to the body of Emon.
Keep working in this fucking guy.
And doesn't look like Sid's agreeing with that.
Well, we see Emon trying to throw the overhand right.
Which is what Richard Sousse said to him in the corner last round. Throw the overhand right.
Wait for him to come back at you.
So that could be a recipe for not so good things for Higson if he goes to the body and the overhand right's coming. So let's see what happens here.
Look at Emon. He's back in the middle of the ring, waiting for this round to start.
Higson listens to his corner. He lands 2 good body shots right off the bat.
Good right coming from Junmar. Junmar wearing all black trunks. Higson wearing black, trimmed with silver and red.
Nice body work there by Emon and finishing up with the hooks to the head. Nice counter uppercuts to the body, hooks to the head by Emon. Higson comes back to the right hand of his own to the head. Really good work going on here for these guys.
Michelle, it seems both fighters are executing what their corner is telling them what to do.
You know what? You like a coachable fighter, right? That's a guy who listens, because there's nothing more frustrating than trying to coach someone who just doesn't listen and is on their own path in there. So even if you don't agree with what your corner is saying and you don't feel that that's the right thing to do, you're still listening at the end of the day, right?
Boy, this crowd being very pro Junmar right now. And you talked about it, Sid. We just missed that overhand right to Kevin Higson. And you talked about Higson going in low and that overhand right. If that connects, that could be a real quick change in this fight.
Yeah, he's landed it 3 times, and now he's going for the uppercut. He's landing some really clean shots, Emon is right now.
Higson connects with the left.
But not with the same pop that he had earlier on. Like,
absolutely, you're right. It's almost like some of the gusto's been taken out of him.
Yeah, that's what taking those hard punches will do to you.
You know, another thing to notice too is it's just tough. You know, it's almost as if you get sucked into the opposition's game plan. And Emon's technically choosing when he's engaging.
All right.
That's what it looks like. He's honestly just choosing. So he's coming in, he's dictating that pace. I'm going to come in, hit you with a couple flurries, where it was definitely Higson at the beginning of the fight choosing when, you know, they were both going to engage.
All right, 2 rounds left. How do we score this so far? Michelle?
Emon's won all the last 3 rounds for sure. In my books, he's won 5, 6. What are we on? 9? I don't even know. I don't even look at the time.
We're going into round number 9.
Yeah, he's won at this rate 5, 6, 7, and 8 in my books for sure.
Okay, Sid?
And I have him winning 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I have Higson winning the first 3, and then he goes down the last 5.
So we got 5-3 coming into this round from you guys.
Pretty much for Emon.
I got it at 4-4.
Yeah, I have it 4-4.
That's how I have it.
Yeah.
It's close. It's close. Either round.
Great straight left coming from Emon. Sid, can you win a title on points?
Yeah, you can, but you've got to be very, very high volume and land a lot of punches and not get hit as much as Emon. Emon's getting hit too.
So it might be, you know, the age-old question coming into play here, in which a lot of people, they don't agree with how boxing is done, where the champion automatically has the advantage being the champion.
He's a point up coming into any round.
Right. Whereas some people see it as, this is the belt, you are fighting for the belts, regardless of if you had won it previously or not. Right? So that's a two ways of looking at any competition of this way, but boxing definitely always gives the advantage to the champion.
The champion, yeah.
Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao would not hold the title if that was the case, though. The case being the champion has to be beaten. You got to beat the man to be the man. Because I've seen Mayweather fight, and I thought he was beaten. But on points, at the end of 12 rounds, he's the guy still holding the title.
Yeah. And as a champion, you know that too. You know if you're standing up at the end of the round, end of the fight,
yep,
most times you're going to get the victory.
Good Michelle, it's not much different from any other sport where reputation comes into play. I talk about guys, you know, in hockey, like the Steve Averys and, you know, those guys that their reputation, the Steve Otts and those guys where, or Sean Avery rather, and those guys where, you know what, their reputation is, this is the kind of player you are and this is what's going to happen, you know?
Right, yeah, no, absolutely. That was a big shot there by Emon,
sure
but
was.
Higson has been dictating a little bit more.
And Emon thinks he's got him hurt. Emon's punches are wide, but they're landing.
But he's got a. Emon took the last 25 seconds of that round, but I'm not sure he took the whole round.
Yeah, so what are the judges gonna score there?
But Michelle, it's like you said, it's the lasting images in your mind when you go back to your corner.
Yep, what the judges remember, right?
Yeah.
So here we go.
There's a great exchange between the two fighters. One guy comes in for the kill and both landing some big punches.
I think in that round, Emon definitely landed the more cleaner, bigger punches.
Yeah, I agree. Michelle, you're Richard Susie. What do you say to your fighter in the corner coming into the final round?
Go and get this title. If it's as close as on the judges' scorecards as it is on our scorecards, let's make a lasting impression here. Put it all out there.
Sid, how do you counteract that big overhand right that Emon seems to be throwing through the last 3 rounds? He just seems to be loading up with that.
Yeah, there it is right there, the jab, the straight punches. The straight punches will beat that overhand all day long. 1, 1, 2, right down the pipe. There it is. He's got to be first with those. Got to throw the 1, 1, 2, right? Be first.
Oh, a big right coming from Emon. Follows it up with a right to the kidneys. Oh, and Higson with a couple of lefts of his own. Straight to the jaw, Emon. Higson doing a great job of counter-punching right now. Emon with a split lip. How much does a cut play in the judge's mind?
Not a lot, not a lot.
Emon looking, Michelle, he just wants to end this with one big right.
I think he's looking at, yeah.
And this could be his downfall, though.
This is the championship round. They got to see who wants it more here.
But it's got to be so much easier when you know a guy's only loading up with one punch.
Yeah. He landed a 3-punch combination there, though, so.
In the clinch, Higson catches Emon with a couple of punches, then goes to the body. Oh, there's a big right from Higson. Emon not hurt, backs up 1 step and comes right back at him. Rocky Zahirchuk, the third man in the ring, steps in between the two fighters. Down to 30 seconds left in this, the 10th and final round.
Higson definitely picked up the volume here, and that's what he needed to do.
Oh, a good left coming. Higson connects twice in a row. And there we go, the last seconds of the 10th and final round in this NABA Canadian Super-Welterweight Title fight. Higson, nice job to get away from that one, and both guys on the stare down, just like they started from.
Wow, what an incredible fight.
Oh my!
What a great finish. What a great finish.
Unbelievable.
Could you ask for more from two of the best here in Canada?
Both showing amazing respect for each other after the fight, but really, they want to keep on fighting.
2 more rounds, right?
Look at that. Let's finish it off, boys. Great job from these two fighters, Kevin Higson and Junmar Emon. Well, Kevin Higson in his corner certainly looks like he's won this fight. Junmar Emon in his corner certainly looking like he's won this fight. Again, this is a duplicate set of the first time these guys faced each other.
Yeah, very close the first time, and the same again. Very competitive.
Our own Michelle Storino moves into the ring to talk to the eventual winner of this fight. 10 rounds of great boxing, Sid.
Yeah, that was a championship fight, and both fighters brought that intensity in that level of competition.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a great round of applause for these two great warriors who delivered an incredible 10-round slugfest. The fight goes the distance, and we go to the scorecards. The judges score the bout 96-94, 99-91, and 98-92 in favor of the winner by unanimous decision, Kevin Higson!
Kevin Higson retaining his title, and said, like we said, you can't win a title on points when it's that close. 96-94.
You know, Higson's the champ, and when the rounds are close, I mean, I had him 94 and I had Emon 96, but those rounds, some of those rounds were close, and the champion will get the nod when those close rounds are at stake.
And I had it 96-94 for Kevin Higson, so it just goes to show you. Let's go to the ring. Here's Michelle Storino.
What appeared to be so much animosity throughout the entire match. I mean, you with a couple, head games in the first few rounds, and then Junmar himself as well. Talk a little bit about this rematch and how it was different than last time. You throwing a lot more with power as opposed to volume.
Yeah, every time I've fought Junmar, it's been tough. I fought in the amateurs, and I fought him last time. They didn't think that I won the last fight, so it was time to step it up a notch and put a little more authority behind everything. And that's what we did tonight. We came away with a steel town beatdown.
Absolutely. Now 8-0, you still have that 1 KO to your record as well. Is there anything that you feel that you need to prove in order to keep having the success that you've had?
I'm always a stickler for working hard in the gym. We get by with a workman's attitude, and that's how we do it. We're blue-collar guys, and we work our ass off, and that's why we're coming away victorious.
Well, amazing fight once again. Everyone, your champion, Kevin Higson.
I just want to thank all my sponsors for coming out. Ring Royalty Fight Supply, the Francis Rose Foundation. Without them, it's not possible. So I just want to thank, and all my fans that have come out that support me every time. Thank you very much.
Congratulations again.
Do a lot. Thank the fans.
So Kevin Higson retains his NABA Canadian Super-Welterweight title with a big decision, moving his record to 8-0-1, 1 KO over Junmar Emon. And this was this was one of those fights that you could have, and we did, you could have scored it either way.
Yeah, very close fight, hard fought by both guys. Yeah, it was a championship fight, right to the end.
Hey, Storino, we got to tape that mic to your hand from
I
now
don't know.
on. What's going on?
It's okay. It's
you started
all right.
a trend here.
No, Ori Cox started a trend. I'm going to leave it to him. That's okay. It's all good. You know what? You're excited. You want to talk. You want to acknowledge everybody that's helped you along the way. It's totally fine.
We got to get you that stuff that they use in football. Stick 'em?
Yeah, stick 'em. We got to get you some stick 'em for the mic, Michelle, how did you see this tough fight coming down?
Oh my gosh. You know what? These two guys put on a show the first time around, and now again, just unbelievable. Everyone in this place standing throughout that last round, just yelling for both of these opponents. And to be completely honest, if you're Emon, how are you possibly disappointed with your performance? You didn't come away with the belt, but still,
Absolutely.
such a great performance.
And sitting behind us, or actually standing behind us through this whole fight, Stephen and Jesse Wilcox. And I'll tell you something, they were as excited as everybody else. We're coming back with more on Championship Boxing. Stay with us.
This is just like any other fight, pretty much. Just got to get in there and do what I do every time and win, and then think about the next one. But first things first, you never look past the fight you have in front of you, right?
My name's Mike Guyette. I've been Brandon's professional boxing coach for about 5 years now. I actually got him started in boxing about 10 years ago, and he was an amateur for about 5 years as well. It's all about timing. Boxing's all about timing. I believe Brandon's almost there. We can hopefully get a good win under our belt here, and sky's the limit after that. That was a big win for him. He actually stopped the guy in the 4th round, I believe. Brandon's body attack is something that's very hard to deal with. And I think that's one major thing that's brought him so far in the ranks. If you haven't gone through the fire, you really don't know what you can do. And to be able to get, take a few shots, maybe things aren't going your way, that's when you really start to see the character of a fighter.
If this fight goes as planned, we got offers before from this guy in Germany that has the WBA interim title. Our goal is to end up fighting for that, and hopefully by the end of the year, they end up picking me to fight. I think we're almost ready. Hopefully after this fight, maybe we'll get one more, unless they call us. Either way, I think we're almost there to get the shot, and hopefully we get it soon.
The big fight that I really want for him is Jack Kulkley out of Germany, and he's a little bit shorter as well. So I believe this is a good little setup for Brandon to see what he's got and really test himself against a shorter, skilled opponent.
Here I'd be flying to Germany to fight him. I don't care about that. I think I can beat him, and that's the title I want. That would be a dream come true if I can fight for that.
Absolutely, Brandon's getting better from fight to fight. Every training camp gets better, the planning gets better. We're constantly working on things.
He's good, but I think I can beat him. Just with a good training camp and the good team I have behind me, I think we'll be ready for him.
I think it's a bunch of things that puts Brandon together to be the total package that he is. One thing that he's always had that I've never taught him, he's had from day one, is punching power. He's got great punching power, and he's very, very tough, and he's got great heart. And that's something that I can't work on with him. You either have that or you don't. And fortunately enough, he's been blessed with all 3 of those.
So we're almost there. Just gotta keep one fight at a time, pretty much.
He's got to keep going out there and fighting his best and doing what he's been doing, and everything's just going to keep moving up from here.
Welcome back to the Hershey Center in Mississauga. We've seen a great night of fights so far, but the main event is still to come, Michelle. Doria and Cook. And this should be a great battle, just like the one we just saw.
Oh, I mean, the night just keeps getting better and better with these fights, and the talent just keeps getting higher and higher. You've got the bad boy, a perfect 16-0-0. He's got 10 knockouts to his name. He's the champ, obviously. Facing another champion as well in Doria. I mean, he's no slouch. He had an opportunity at 3 belts. He has 2. Still pretty good.
Not bad. You know, Sid, when you talk about a guy like the bad boy Brandon Cook, and we talked about Dubs O'Reilly earlier, how difficult is it for a fighter and a champion fighter to come back from a broken hand and not be second-guessing himself?
Yeah, he's got to believe that his hand is totally healed and he can do whatever he needs to do to win this fight. If he's thinking about that hand, then it takes his mind off of what he needs to do to win the fight. And so he's got to believe it's 100% and ready to go.
Michelle, I talked to Denton Daly not long ago, and I talked about his broken hand that we did right here on Championship Boxing. One of the fights that we did, it was an overhand right that he took to the back, he gave to the back of the head. And he said it took him a while to get over the fact that he could throw full tilt.
Yeah, and we're seeing it from so many Canadian boxers as well. Ryan Young is experiencing the same thing, and I believe he did it the same way too, on an overhand, landing an overhand on someone else's skull. So I mean, it's a very vicious injury, really, and it's something so hard to rehabilitate, and then, like you said, get over it mentally and be able to just withstand now 12 rounds with a shorter, stockier fighter as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sid, I was about to bring that up. You got this fight almost mirrors the one we just saw in Junmar Emon, whereas the champion's a little bit taller, a little bit bigger, and he's fighting a smaller guy who still packs a lot of power. How do you transition into that?
Yeah, I mean, Brandon Cook, the taller guy, wants to kind of use his reach, use the jab, and work from a range and make the other guy have to come in and get on the inside.
Absolutely. And Michelle, when you talk about a guy getting on the inside, the smaller boxer almost has to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, footwork is going to be another really big key to success for Doria if he's going to have success against Cook. And, I'm really looking forward to seeing, whether or not Cook feels like he has to engage his power, because we've seen him, I mentioned 10 knockouts, 6 of his last 8 fights have ended, prematurely, I guess you could say. Haven't gone the distance. He's ended those fights. So, is that something that he's always relying on, is the big question for me going into this one.
You know what? As we take a look at some of the weigh-in footage, you got to wonder how a guy that holds 2 belts and a guy that holds 1 belt, they both have supreme confidence coming into this one. So let's take a look at the weigh-in footage.
So Cook now, ranked 9th in the world by WBA, and, they're kind of gearing him to hopefully move up in those rankings as well, and possibly fight for the WBA someday as well. How much pressure is it? Do Canadians really feel that much pressure in order to, I guess, make a stand on the international stage?
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say any fighter feels pressure in terms of when you're in the top 10 and you're just a couple fights away from realizing your dream. Yeah. I mean, it's their dream to fight for the world title, hopefully win it. And knowing that you're just that close, it's a lot of pressure, and you have to stay focused on the fight at hand. And we'll see tonight if Brandon Cook can do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome David Doria.
Here comes David Doria from Bayern, Germany.
Can I correct you? Davide. I'm Italian. He was born in Italy. It's Davide Doria. He's going by full-on Italian pronunciation, which is awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then why is he from Bayern, Germany?
Oh, he lives in Germany.
I know he does. Yeah. And Bayern's just outside of Munich. Davide.
Yeah, Davide, yeah.
So you're going to be talking to him in Italian when he comes in the ring?
No, definitely not.
If you interview him, are you going to talk to him in Italian?
No, I'll just have him take the microphone.
I'd like to see you talking in Italian.
So this is his first fight in Canada.
Yeah, not only having that gangster...
He's using Drake, trying to win over the Canadian crowd,
yeah,
maybe.
It's not happening. Brandon Cook's too popular in this area, but he's got one red shoe and one black shoe going on, so he knows he's got his stuff.
Yeah, the red shoe could be a tribute to Canada. I mean, hey, this guy's not silly. He's going to try and get as many fans as he can.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Brandon Cook.
Here comes the bad boy, wildly popular in this area. And rightfully so. He has really cut through this division.
Yeah, and he's had most of his fights right here, so they know him very, very well here at the Hershey Center.
The title held high, 16-0 with 10 KOs. One thing we've seen about Brandon Cook, Michelle, is his effectiveness of putting away opponents.
Yeah, definitely. And you talk about war of attrition. I want to see what he's made of. It's almost like you said, he cut through the division, and good on him. That means he's just raising his game every single time. But let's see what he's made of as well.
Yeah, at some point you're going to get in a dogfight, and what happens then? So yeah, great to see that happen.
Just so you know, I'm going to call him Doria from now on.
Ladies and gentlemen, United Boxing Promotions, in association with the Presler Law Firm, OLG Slots at Woodbine, and OLG Slots at Ajax, proudly present, live from the Hershey Center in Mississauga, Ontario, the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the NABA Super-Welterweight Championship. This bout sanctioned by the Ontario Athletic Commission under the supervision of Mr. Ken Hayashi. Your judges are Ms. Kelly Zolnicek, Mr. Martin Delita, and Mr. Harry Davis. When the bell sounds, the man in charge of the action, your referee, is Mr. Mark Simmons. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he is wearing black with red and gold trim. His professional record, a remarkable 14 wins, 4 by way of knockout, 2 defeats, and 1 draw. He is the former German super middleweight champion, all the way from Bayern, Germany. He weighed in at 157.8 pounds. Davide Panarino Doria. And his opponent
Doria's
fighting
record
out
at
of the red
14-2
corner
with
red
1
and blue
KO.
with black and silver trim. He is undefeated as a professional. His record, an incredible 16 wins, 10 by way of knockout, no defeats. His extensive trophy case includes the Canadian Super-Welterweight Champion, the WBA NABA Canadian Middleweight Championship, the WBA Inter-Continental Super-Welterweight Championship. From Ajax, Ontario, weighing in at 159.4 pounds, Brandon Bad Boy Cook!
All right, we went over the instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. When I say break, you step back, you stop punching, protect yourself at all times. Anything below here, I will call low. Anything below here, I will call low. Touch gloves. Good luck to the both of you.
You know what, guys? I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to this fight.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting fight. Talking about not judging a book by its cover, Doria only has 1 KO and Cook has 10. And if I looked at it, I think it'd be the other way around.
He's 1 KO loss. 1 KO loss, 4 KO wins.
There we go. Still, Brandon Cook with more KOs.
Cook wearing the blue trunks trimmed in black and white. Doria, of course, in the black trunks trimmed in red and gold. There's one thing that we've seen from Brandon Cook, and I've done probably, of his 16 fights, I think I've done 13 or 14 of them. And one thing he's good at is when he's backed into a corner or against the ropes, he comes out throwing. He comes out with a vengeance, like, I'm not just coming off the ropes, I'm coming off the ropes to do some damage. Oh, Cook takes a couple of good shots from Doria. Turns him around in the corner. Cook throwing an uppercut. Looks like the early game plan for Brandon Cook is throw that uppercut with the shorter fighter.
Yeah, not much of a feeling out process going here. They're going at it pretty good right away. Yep, and there you go, Doug. Yep, the uppercut. Maybe he saw something in tape.
Michelle, that's the big thing when you get to guys that are 14, 15, 16
That's
fights
right,
into their
yep.
career. There's lots of tape to be seen of these guys and their styles.
Yep, absolutely, Doug. Both of these guys landing some pretty big shots.
They
in the
sure
first
are.
round.
Yeah, Cook going to the body and Doria trying to get to the head with the overhand.
Both trading hooks early on.
Said one thing we've never seen from Brandon Cook is how he responds if he's hurt.
Yeah, and hopefully we get to see it tonight, because that is really going to help him as he moves forward into a world championship fight, knowing that he can get hurt and come back. So being tested is a good thing.
How do you know when your fighter's ready to take that next level?
You know what, as a coach...
good combination from Cook.
Yeah, you gauge it off his previous fights, and then you know, everything he's doing in the warm-up and as he moves into these big fights mentally.
There we see again, Michelle, Brandon Cook coming off the ropes, throwing forward, not backing away, comes off the ropes, and he's attacking.
You hear a collective gasp in the arena as he took a straight right at the end of the round, but it didn't really face him at all. His corner asking him how he was doing. Totally fine.
Sorry, was this only round one?
Round one, yeah.
One
that
of-
was a lot more
one of
intense.
12.
Yeah, that was a lot more intense than a round one.
Oh my. Hit your scorecards, eh guys? I want to see this from you guys. You guys got to keep up here.
We're being told, Sid. We're being told.
Yeah, no, we saw it last fight. Sid and I had the exact same score, just different fighters. By the way, Michelle, how did you score the last one? The Higson Emon fight.
I had a pretty split even.
Well, so did we.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then-
so what did you have? Take a look at some of these huge shots first. Sorry, Michelle.
That's
Look
okay.
at these big shots from both guys.
The
That
right
was-
landing late.
That was the gasp everybody talked about here.
So we saw Cook going for the uppercut, and we saw Doria going for the overhand.
That's almost what you would expect from the more diminutive fighter.
Yeah.
When you've got a 4 or 5 ounce or 4 or 5 inch difference on your opponent, how difficult is it to hit the body shot?
Yeah, you do want to be leaning in, so you really want to make sure that you position yourself with your feet first, so that keeps you on balance. We'll see if Cook can execute that.
Good uppercut coming from Cook. Wild left missing from Doria. Good straight left coming from Doria.
I think
Good
Brandon's
cut.
cut there.
Indeed, he is cut. Oh, there's a low blow. Referee Mark Simmons stands in between the two and warns Doria of going down low.
To cut in the second round of a 12-round fight, not a good thing.
Like you mentioned, though, earlier in the evening, a good cut man goes a long way.
Yeah, and also mentally, let's see if Brandon can, put that aside and do what he needs to do. There's a lot at stake right now here for Brandon Cook.
Nice job by Cook to step away from that exchange. Doria doing a great job slipping the punches. Cook's got him against the ropes, and Cook's just trying to tee up that uppercut, but it's not coming. And Doria fights his way off the ropes.
Both guys just doing a great job of literally sitting on their punches. When people tell you to do that, that's what they're doing, folks. Yeah. They're bending their knees, using their legs.
Explain though what you mean by sitting on the punches for the layman out there.
No, they're bending their knees and like sitting, like you're on a toilet or something, and you're punching with your legs. You're using your entire body to throw, not just your arms.
Doria's got a bloody nose now as Cook's cut, and so is Doria. Very early in the fight for both guys to be cut.
And Cook's corner telling him if he wants to fight, you fight him back, and Cook is doing that. This is a fight.
Yes. Yes, it is. My goodness.
Hey, ref! 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 Hey! That comes from a headbutt. That comes from a headbutt. You see that?
So Brandon Cook's corner saying he was cut by a headbutt rather than by a punch, and that's got to be very positive in a fighter's mind. Knowing that the guy didn't get one in on you.
Yeah. Let's just hope it's not too deep and it doesn't open up significantly, because we've seen, unfortunately, here before championship boxing, a couple fights end
absolutely
prematurely.
It all depends on how deep the cut is, right?
Absolutely, where the fighter themselves are totally fine and they just have this massive gash and you have to protect them. Doria cleaned up though now.
Yep.
I don't think the referee called that a headbutt though, correct?
No, he did not.
All right, so if the fight were to get stopped, it would be on a punch basically. So Cook would lose the fight.
Great job by Cook going to the body. Doria trying to fight his way out of the ropes.
Doria landed right on that cut as well.
And Cook with a big wild left that just missed.
We talk about the frequency of guys taking fights. Obviously, Cook was off for a while because of that broken hand. But Doria, on the other hand, he's had 5 fights. This is his 5th fight in 6 months. That's a lot of fighting.
It's a lot of fighting, but it depends on how much you've taken and how much you've given over those fights.
Yeah.
Like if you're fighting 2-3 rounds, it's a big difference from fighting 5 times and having 12-round fights. Am I wrong?
No, Doug, that's exactly right. I mean, to fight just a few rounds each time, he's just getting warmed up.
Right. Cook's doing a great job of slipping that left hook of Doria's, and he comes back. Oh, a huge uppercut from Cook. Goes right back to the body. Doria hits with the right.
Cook's corner urging for the uppercut.
Yeah.
We talked about that right off the get-go. That seems like the game plan with a smaller fighter, a guy that you have 4 or 5 inches on. The only way you're going to catch him is when he goes down, you got to come up top.
It's been working so far. Along with those body shots, doing serious damage.
Michelle, the way both of these guys are attacking this fight, can you see it going a full 12 rounds?
I don't think so. I definitely don't think so.
Either way, I can't see it going 12 rounds.
Or it's going to be a very sloppy 11th and 12th round.
There's something we've seen from Brandon Cook in the past where he just muscles his opponent out of the way. When they come into the clinch, he throws them into the corner or throws them against the rope.
Yeah, Cook is very strong physically. You see that in the clinches.
Oh, hard to believe, but we're only 3 rounds into this fight. And I got to tell you something, folks. 3 of 12 rounds. And like we talked about, Michelle, I can't see this going 12 the way these guys have come out the first 3 rounds. Watch Brandon Cook throw in like you said.
Throwing for the fences here, landing this massive uppercut, like Street Fighter styles. And, you know, we've seen from the past from Cook, you know, he likes going to the body, a lot of body shots, frequent body shots. And tonight, it's more so he's teeing up Doria with straight punches, then going to the uppercut. So a little bit of a different game plan for Cook's corner this time around.
You got to give Brandon Cook credit because he seems to find the holes in other fighters and fights to their holes, Sid.
Yeah, which is great. You see him developing, and there he comes again with the uppercut and an overhand. So mixing it up, seeing what's open and taking it.
You know, and he's really taking a conscious effort, you just saw there, of staying low and really bending at the knees, not at the hips, because that's very dangerous as well. If you bend at the hips, then you're leaning forward too much.
Great left coming from Cook. Doria covers up, moves into his corner. Cook with an uppercut. Doria with the overhand right.
You know, because Doria is that much smaller than Cook, it appears that they're, you know, trying to set up this uppercut to pop that head up just enough to hit him with the overhand to follow up right away, right? So it's set up, uppercut, get that head up nice and clear, and then hit him on the button with the overhand. Because he's such a bull moving forward with that forward momentum and his head bowed down. That's the only way you're going to be able to get him.
And that's what you see with Cook. Cook's now trying to turn things around and move forward himself.
Also, another thing, too, is that if you're a boxer moving backwards, the uppercut's probably the best and most effective punch to throw while moving backwards. You know what I mean? Like, it does still have a lot of pop and power while moving backwards.
Yeah, definitely lifts your opponent's chin up so you can land that hook.
Good quality left coming from Doria.
Everything Doria throws, though, is heavy.
What do they say, Sid? Bad intentions in every throw?
Yeah, Doria's definitely come here to throw some punches with bad intentions. And there he lands the overhand right.
Michelle, you know what? Doria knows what he's in for. He's coming into the champion's backyard. He knows that he's got to be straight out the better fighter.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we mentioned you have to not only beat the champion, but you're coming in on his turf. There's so many different attributes going into this fight for Doria. He knows what it's like, and that's the thing, too. I mean, for him, he understands what it's like to fight for a championship. He isn't a rookie in that sense.
Oh, a big body shot coming from Cook. He's got Doria stunned along the ropes. Doria sucks it up and moves back to the middle of the ring. Give Doria credit, Sid. He's a little bit of a warrior out there. He's a guy that's just coming in, and he's going to lay it all on the line.
Yeah, he's got a game plan, too. He wants to land those big punches, the big overhand right. He's not giving up on it.
Brandon Cook, a little bit of blood over the left eye.
Yeah, he's got 2 cuts going on there. He's got one on the eyebrow and then one on the eyelid as well.
The eyebrow one is the one that's right now streaming down the side of his face as the round comes to a close, and we'll have to see what his corner does about that as we move into round number 5.
You could hear from his corner as well during that small break was he wants the straight right hand, and then he wants him to step back, go back in, tee him up. there's always a method to the madness, Sid. You know what I mean? And a lot of people maybe dismiss that, unfortunately, about this sport. But it's called the sweet science for a reason. You know?
All right, time for me to put you guys on the spot.
Oh,
Where are we
come
through
on.
4 rounds? We're a third of the way into the fight. Where are we?
I think Cook's won every round.
I've got that as well.
Oh, we agree on something.
Oh my goodness. What are we going to do? You know what? I'm going to say 3-1 then. No, I'm not. Just to be different. And Cook's won every round based on activity, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, because he's been hit, but he's just landed more on Doria.
It's funny, Doria's corner there, kind of giving him an extra tap, like, let's go, come on, get pumped up. It's like, you know, he does feel...
I'm not sure he could come out even heavier than this.
No, I mean, just he feels kind of dejected in that corner, and you could see that extra effort to give him a little bit of life.
Sid, when your fighter comes back to the corner and he thinks he's given it all he can and he's still losing, he feels he's still losing, how do you deal with that as a coach?
You just got to make him believe that he's still got more. There's still an opportunity to win the fight. So whatever it is, you got to tell him, and whether it's you know, give him a punch that he needs to throw, or just, you know, verbally just pump him up. You got to get him out there. If he has no belief in himself, then the fight's over.
And that puts him in a very dangerous situation, really.
Michelle, though, if it's all or nothing for David Doria, where do you see him standing?
I mean, I don't think this is all or nothing for him yet. No, it hasn't gotten to that desperation point.
Oh, it hasn't got to that desperation point, but you can't give away the first 4 rounds of any fight.
He's a little bit on cruise control right now, though, I think.
Agreed,
Yeah.
100%.
But maybe cruise control going backwards.
Yeah, backwards is the key. He's doing his best work when he's backing Brandon up, and as you see right now, he's not doing that.
In the last little bit, though, what we've seen of Cook, though, is he's keeping him at bay. He's throwing that straight left and keeping him backing up just a step. He can't get inside.
And you see Cook there sidestepping, not making it easy for Doria.
You hear his corner saying, get back to the center of the ring, and that's where Brandon Bad Boy Cook is now. This fight for the NABA Super-Welterweight Championship.
Doria's nose getting really busted up here on both sides from those straight right hands that Cook is landing at will.
There's Cook again throwing that quick uppercut. Again splitting the nose of David Doria. Final seconds of the 5th round. Great job by Cook to stay on his horse. When he seems to be in trouble, he's able to get out of the way and really backpedal and move out of the way and keep control of the ring.
Well, the number one thing is, you know, moving straight back. You can't just do that, because then at some point you get stuck against the ropes. So, you know, this is really what Doria's got left. He's gonna rush you. He has to charge in. He's the smaller fighter. He's not doing anything on the outside. So, you know, angles are massive, and footwork are really important in these situations. And I mean, we saw this earlier with a couple other fights and how footwork is so important. This is the number one reason why it's important. It gets you out of trouble.
Ring generalship, that's what I call it, right? Yeah. Commanding your area of the ring and making sure that you're in an area where you're comfortable at all time, that you can land the combination or you can land the punch that you want to throw.
So now, Michelle, we're moving into that point where we start talking about desperation. it might be coming pretty soon here.
Sixth round, and you've lost the first 5, and you're in somebody else's territory? Yeah, I think you're right. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Well, let's see if Doria's got another gear that he can turn into.
And that's just me saying that he's lost the first 5. That's not the judges' cards, and that's not, you know, I'll give Doria credit. He's come to fight, that's for sure. Cook has won every round in my books, but not by a wide margin. Nice right to the body from Brandon Cook. Then comes over with the overhand left. Oh, a good uppercut from Cook. Snapping the head back of Doria.
You got him here in the corner. You should keep him here and do work, you know? You have him along the ropes. Keep him there.
Doria's nose is a mess, and that's not just the way it looks, but it's going to become a breathing problem as this fight goes on.
Yeah, he split that open on the other side now. It was just on the left nostril. Now it's on the left and right nostril. And Michelle, you talk about a fighter like Doria that's taking this kind of punishment to his nose. The breathing has got to be a huge thing for him.
Yeah, massive factor. I mean, harder to breathe makes it, you know, makes you more tired. Your hands go down. Just like it's a chain reaction for everything.
Well, normally
you don't want to move, just all sorts of things.
And normally we see a boxer, Sid, when he's breathing through the mouth, it's because he's tired, and you can see, you know what I mean? You see his mouth guard. This is not the case. He's breathing through his mouth because he has to get some oxygen in him.
Yeah, absolutely. Cook landing some vicious body shots there.
Final seconds of the 6th round. Wild right coming from Doria.
He's still game, though. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Doria's, he came here to fight. And you know what? If at this point, he's not going to win in terms of on the judges' scorecards if it goes the distance.
He's got to knock him in.
But he's got to knock him out. But he's got to make it difficult for him. He's not going to just lay down and die either,
100%.
right?
Absolutely. You're so right on that, Michelle.
There's blood on my microphone, on my notes. There's just the blood from his nose is just everywhere at this point.
And you're complaining why?
Best seat in the house. You're right, best seat in the house.
You got the best seat in the house and you're complaining why? They're not wearing tutus in there, you know that,
it's true, definitely. Look at him, he's happy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And funny thing is, Sid, this is Brandon Cook's kind of opponent. He likes to get in there and mix it up.
So true. He likes to have somebody right in front of him so he can hit him with that jab, right hand, uppercut, whatever.
Don't forget, Brandon Cook still has a cut of his own. But his corner's done a great job of keeping that to a minimum.
Yeah, hasn't played much of a factor. Like, there's no blood getting in his eyes, and this is when you know you thank your cut man at the end of the fight for keeping you in the fight, especially in a 12-round fight.
Well, you know what, though? In, Doria's case, don't you think his corner would maybe say to kind of target that? You know, you go after a weakness?
I think his corner is saying, get your nose out of the way. Oh, a big left coming from Doria. Cook in the clinch. Oh, and the look on Doria's face when Mark Simmons separated them was You know what? This is my job. This is what I do. This is how I win fights. Get in tight and throw some big punches. Oh my! He's got Cook against the ropes. Cook is bleeding over the left eye. You gotta wonder if that's gonna impair his vision a little bit.
He seems to be standing his ground and looking to land the right hand. There he eludes the big overhand.
Both fighters exchanging good punches. Cook backs away, moves to the center of the ring, getting it away from the ropes, and that's where Doria seems comfortable as well. Doria likes to be in tight, it looks like.
Yeah, and even though, I have Cook ahead, every round, I mean, it's not an easy fight. I mean, you still got to stay alert.
It's not easy at all, you're right. But Sid, it's important as a coach to see your fighter against some quality competition and moving up. If you're going to fight on a world stage, sooner or later, you can't fight guys that are 7-5.
Yeah, no, this is a very good step for Brandon. And now he just wants to do the things he needs to do to win this fight. You're going to see his corner keep asking for different things, and will he respond?
The most consistent thing right now about what Brandon's been able to do is literally have Doria up on the ropes every single round for majority of the round. Like, he is dictating a lot of things, and I know it hasn't been an easy fight per se, but I mean, he's pinning him up against the ropes, landing his shots. Could he possibly finish Doria? I don't know. Doria
can
tough
take
guy.
a punch.
Yeah, he's a tough guy.
Am I wrong to say I think that's the first round Doria won? Come on.
You're wrong. I still gave it to Cook.
Yeah, same here. There's just way more
that
action.
round to Doria just because the volume of punches he connected with.
Cook still had him against the ropes quite a bit of time.
But it almost seemed like Doria wanted to be on the ropes. He wanted, and that's why Cook back to the center of the ring.
So if that's the game plan that you want, Cutman here looking at Brendan Cook, the doctors.
Under Brandon's left eye, there's a little bit of a mouse there as well, and that's above that is the cut on the just above the eyebrow.
And Doria is still trying to get that overhand right now, but now he's trying to do it as a counter punch, which might actually work.
Brendan Cook doubling up on the jab, then throwing that right. And that's something we've seen in the past that he's had great success with.
Nice triple jab there by Brandon.
Oh, Cook takes a left. Doria bleeding again from the nose from that uppercut from Cook coming out of the corner. Nice job by Brandon Cook doubling up on that jab. He's connecting not with the first, but he's connecting square on with the second.
Yeah, which is definitely going to set him up for the right hand as he just delivers it right there.
Ooh, almost took Doria down. Doria claiming a slip, and rightfully so.
Yeah, this round a little bit different though. Doria is actually walking him down in certain parts of the ring. Brandon's not landing as much.
Yeah, and I saw Doria throw 5 jabs this round.
Yeah.
So he's
and that's a first through the first 6 rounds.
Yeah, so he's definitely feeling more confident. Maybe he sees something here.
Cook catches Doria coming in. Doria with the huge overhand right. There's a big uppercut coming from Brandon Cook. He's got Doria against the ropes. Goes to the body. Oh, another uppercut. Brandon Cook looking to finish off David Doria.
Doria's one tough customer.
Yeah.
10 seconds left in this, the 8th round. Oh, a big body shot from Cook. Doria backing up as the round comes to a close. How big is that body shot? Fixing the end of the round.
It backed him up by like 5 steps. That was a hard body shot.
Doria, though, definitely dictated more of ringmanship in that round. Had Cook up against the ropes a few times. And then Cook with a really nice flurry, too. So, really, it went both ways in that round. I think I might give that round to Doria, though.
No. Just because you disagreed with me last time. No. And I think Brandon Cook landed the better shots in that round.
That was the closest round in my mind.
And I was tempted to give Doria a mercy round.
Yeah.
Just give him a round.
That's what I did last round. That's why I'm not giving him this round.
All right, let's see if Doria's recovered from that body shot, because it was hard.
And he was laboring in the corner as well. You see the look on his face in the corner, and Mark Simmons comes over and wants to make sure that he's ready to go for this round.
And I think Cook's going to go right back down to that body.
And once again, he's back to, owning the ring, too. Having him up against the ropes. For some reason, they just like fighting right in front of us. Which is totally fine.
No, in front of you.
Yeah.
I'm fine over here. I have no blood on any part of my stuff.
United Promotions is getting my dry cleaning bill.
They're going to ask why you're wearing bright yellow. If you wore red, it wouldn't show up as much.
Note for next time, wear red.
Yeah, Doug, and I think you alluded to this earlier. Brandon Cook is a finisher.
Yeah, he is.
He sees a little window here to finish this fight, and he's going after it.
It's like a shark smelling the blood.
There's a good right. That stunned Doria. Doria backs against the ring. Off the ropes. Doria's going to try to throw to come out of there, but Cook is just pinning him in the corner.
Big body shot again.
Boy, those body shots have got to amount to so much for Brandon Cook.
Yeah, Cook showing his strength in there, but getting warm for using that shoulder.
That's something I've seen him do pretty much every fight, is he leans in and he just shoves the other fighter away from him and throws a combination right off of that.
Yeah, it's a very veteran move. He's just got to do it a little more subtly so he doesn't get seen.
Michelle Doria's taken a lot of punishment this round.
That was just going to say that was a really nice combination by Cook. Literally stepping back, planting his feet, coming at him with a couple straights, an uppercut. Ooh, big body shot there too.
Cook doing a great job of covering up coming out of the corner.
Yeah, stepping in, stepping out. Just
good uppercut.
Yeah, basic boxing.
Oh, there's a straight right. He's got Doria stunned along the ropes. Cook is throwing to the body. Now an uppercut. Doria trying to fight his way off the ropes. Boy, Brandon Cook's skills are impeccable at this point in the round.
So the reason why, here's my take on the reason why that stunned Doria. Every time he's been throwing that right uppercut, he's followed with a left hand. So it would be either a hook or even a straight left. But that time it was a right uppercut followed by the straight right hand. He came back with the exact same hand.
Absolutely.
And he wasn't expecting that, and right there, right down the pipe. It was open because every other time it's been, right, left.
And those little nuances are what makes Brandon Cook so powerful in the ring.
You see that opening, you fix it, you mix it up.
Use your leg.
Doria's hugging him. Is this only a 10-round fight? We don't know about something?
I think Doria might be going, I didn't know it was 12. Doria connects with that one. Cook backs away. Nice job by Brandon Cook to get out of trouble. He's backed in the corner now. Cook has to fight his way out of the corner. He turns Doria around. He said that's again when we talk about a strong boxer, a guy that's able to, when you're stuck in a corner, grab a guy in the clinch, move him around so he's out of the way.
Yeah, definitely using his strike to his advantage there.
At this point in the fight, Doria's got to believe that uppercut's coming.
Yeah, I don't think he doesn't have an answer for it.
Because right from the get-go, we talked about it, that Brandon Cook's going to go with the smaller fighter. He's going to be throwing upstairs.
Now, the only time Cook is getting caught is what's happening is his range is getting off, so he's too close, not landing efficient and strong punches, and then that's just enough room and just enough time for Doria to come in and then back him up at the same time, right?
Cook letting a beautiful straight right there from the outside.
Brandon Cook has been very successful with the straight left and the straight right rather than the hooks. Whereas from Doria, I've seen mostly hooks coming from him.
Yeah, the smaller fighter trying to get on the inside and land those hooks.
Gotta believe that uppercut's coming. Oh, he just missed. We knew it was coming, and he just missed on the first one. Doria trying to fight his way.
Yeah, but very little on those punches now. And after he punches, his hands are coming right down, and Cook follows up with the right hand because he sees it too.
Michelle, look how hard Doria's breathing from the mouth, though.
Oh, yeah.
He's sucking the air in as much as he can to try to keep going. Gotta give him credit. He is game for this fight, trying to fight back against Brandon Cook, who's having his way now in the 10th round, 20 seconds to go. Oh, he hit Cook with a good body shot. Cook's gonna hang on.
Cook's corner urging him not to get in too close.
They know they've got this fight well in hand, and you just need to ride out the last couple of rounds. You don't need to knock him out at this point, do you, Sid?
No, not at all, especially as the champion too. But Cook still wants the knockout.
Oh, that had bad intentions, that one.
These guys are touching up. I think we are done. 10 rounds.
It is a 10-round fight.
Got to give some credit to the cut man in Brandon Cook's corner there. Carlos Varela did a great job.
Absolutely, you're so right on that. mean, because you just take that to one extra level, and all of a sudden your fighter's in danger.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they came and looked at him twice.
Yeah.
So we await the judge's decision through 10 rounds. Any possibility that Doria has more than 1 or 2 rounds in this fight?
No, I just don't see it, especially...
I've got him with 1 round.
I got him with 1 round as well.
Okay. But I'll tell you something, he put on a show.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he was game for this fight right from the get-go.
And I think he could have lasted 2 more rounds if it was a 12-round fight, but I don't think it would have been good for him. So I'm glad it was a 10-round fight.
It wouldn't have been good for either of them. So we await the judge's decision through this 10-round championship fight for the NABA Super-Welterweight title. And I don't think the decision is really anywhere that, put it this way, I think it's not in doubt at all.
Yeah, there's not a lot of drama in what the decision's going to be here. We all know that the hometown hero, Brandon Cook, is going to come out with this one.
Brandon Cook throwing his appreciation to the crowd all the way around, and rightfully so, because they were behind him from round number 1, and he came out big.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard for the decision. The judges score the bout 190. 98, 92, and 190 in favor of the winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated, Brandon Bad Boy Cook!
With the champ, Brandon Bad Boy Cook. Okay, Brandon. So first things first, how good does this feel knowing you're coming off injury and a really long layoff?
It feels pretty good. Obviously a little rusty. It's hard when you take time off. It's hard to get back into it. Hopefully, my hands are good this time, so thank God. I just gotta put my punches together a bit more. I still got so much to learn. It was really short. He was coming in with his head. I think the first or second round he hit me with a headbutt, and then I just try to stay patient, throw my punches together. It just takes time, right?
Yes, I was just going to say, you did a couple things really, really well. You always bent your knees as much as possible, really trying to get down to his level, and that must have been something that was a really big part of the game plan coming in.
Yeah, it's just I haven't fought too many guys that small. You just got to adjust, right? Every fight's different. You got to try to adjust when you're in there.
Yeah, man.
It took me a couple rounds to try to figure him out, try to outbox him a bit. I just got a lot to learn. I got lots more time, so I just got to keep getting back to the gym, keep working hard. I got a great team behind me. Everybody's been doing so much, especially all the fans here. I really appreciate everybody coming out. You guys are the best. I don't know what I'd do without you guys. You guys just, every time you come, just keeps getting me I keep getting better and better. I want to keep working. I want this guy named Jack Hawkley from Germany. I'd go out there and fight him. I want that belt. I'm just gonna keep working hard, and if you just gotta keep pushing yourself to the limit. Anybody can do anything. You just gotta keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And one final question: you utilized the uppercut beautifully. Popping up his head, even though he was rushing in on you, and then finishing with some overhands. You caught him with a really nice straight right in the 9th round as well.
Yeah, I just gotta keep listening to my corner. I was just taking. Just a little too much. I was just trying too hard to try to knock him out to please everybody here, but I'm sorry. We didn't get the knockout, but we got lots to learn. I really appreciate everybody coming out, and everything's been great. I just really appreciate it. Happy birthday to my grandma and Whitney's mom, Julie. Happy birthday.
Well, it was still a very impressive fight. Congratulations, champ, and you're still perfect at 17-0.
That's it. Thanks everybody again for coming out. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks all my sponsors, everybody. Appreciate everything.
The champ, Brendan Bad Boy Cook, everyone.
Let's take a look at this championship fight right from the get-go. Sid, this one was bombs galore.
Yeah, Brandon Cook right there establishing the jab, the two from the outside, and his go-to punch was the uppercut from the first round. He landed consistently. Doria always wanted to try and land the overhand, get on the inside, make it rough and rugged, which he was able to do. But Brandon Cook muscling him around, just too strong. Just too strong.
You know, something that he mentioned so many times in there in the ring is you could see how humble he is and how much he still feels that he could learn, he can grow. I mean, what's his ceiling? It seems as though the potential is just through the roof right now. He's a fighter that understands where he's at in the grand scheme of things. He listens to his corner, he listens to his coaches, he obviously works very, very hard. I mean, the sky's the limit for this guy.
Sid, there's a big difference between winning a title and retaining a title.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, to get that title is one thing, and to be now ranked, you know, in the top 10 in the world, and to come here and to win a tough fight against a guy who was dangerous. And, you know, Michelle had alluded to it earlier as well. We saw him in the ring, like, consciously deciding that he needed to sit down a little bit in his stance. So in the ring, he's actually still learning in a championship fight. I mean, kudos to him.
17-0, Michelle. You talk about a ceiling. Is the ceiling a world title fight?
You heard it, like, from him. You know he's got a goal. You know what he wants. And he's not going to stop till he gets there. You can tell he's a determined young guy, and he realizes where he's at in his career and that there's just so much more time and room to grow. And I'm excited to see how far he can really take it. And, you know, you heard him too as well say that he would also like to finish fights as well. Clearly, I mean, majority of his fights have been done and haven't gone the distance. But nonetheless, this was still a very dominant decision, even though he didn't finish it.
Sid, when you're talking about world rankings, when you go the distance with someone instead of knocking them out, does that play a point in your world rankings? Do they say, I know he won the fight, but he didn't knock him out, so he's still ranked number 9, or does he move up in the rankings?
No, really, he fought a guy here. It was tough. He was durable. He won unanimously on 2 scorecards, didn't lose a single round, so that shouldn't affect his rankings at all.
For United Promotions, for our producer Fraser Toms, for Michelle Storino, Sid Vanderpool, I'm Doug Anderson. Thanks for joining us on Championship Boxing. Hey, look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.